The Woodward Sports Network presents a sports show that's more than just sports. Welcome to The Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermani. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
And here we go. Woodward Sports Network. I am Braylon Edwards. Ermani's out today, so we got Adham Beydoun filling in. The man, Adam. How you feeling?
Look, I know I'm not as sexy as Ryan, but I mean, come on. This is
you look
long
good,
overdue.
Man.
This is long overdue.
You look at this is darn sure long overdue. Got my guy Maz on the couch. Maz, how you doing over there?
I'm good, Bray. Great to have my brother Adam in the house here today, and the boys. We're gonna have a great show. Adam Schefter, man.
Great show.
Let's
Adam
do
Schefter will be here. Talk to him later in the 3 o'clock hour. Today is Michael Jordan's birthday, February 17th.
The real GOAT.
The real GOAT. Anybody got any Michael Jordan stories?
59 years old, man.
Wow. Any Michael Jordan stories?
I've got a Michael Jordan story.
Okay, I'm waiting.
From my pops.
Okay, I'll take it.
So when I was a kid, 1996, I was a little baby. MJ hit the shot, and my dad dropped me on my head.
The shot over
my
Craig
mom
Elo?
had to rush me. My mom had to rush me to the ER. Yep, that was the infamous last shot.
Yep. Sweet.
Yeah, fun fact.
That
I
was
got
a hell of a
dropped on my
shot.
head as a kid because
That's
Michael
what happened.
Jordan.
And you know what? Back then, it made us tougher. It made us tougher to
Yeah,
get dropped on your head. Nowadays, you know, it's pressing charges. I got a funny story. So, playing spades, one of my good friends, Larnell Collier, is my spades partner. He's the only guy I played spades with. Detroit, went to high school together, went to Michigan, get together. I'm down in Miami. I'm at the Fountain Blue, and we're outside. Michael's down there. He's got a cigar in his mouth, of course. He's got some vodka, of course. He's with Charles Oakley, and they're playing spades, and I walk over there. And we sit down and play spades. He's cool. I got introduced to Freeney, Dwight Freeney, former DM for the Colts. And so we're sitting down and we're playing spades, and he lets me play. And I brought my boy, Larnell. So I'm sitting down and I'm excited. We're playing spades, and we're busting Michael Jordan's ass in spades. Like we're just busting his butt. And then all of a sudden he starts to cheat. Michael was legitimately cheating so bad right in front of us. He would cut us. You know how to play spades. He would cut a book, like cut a heart. Then turn around and then cut another book with that same spade that he cut that previous heart with. I'm like, but at the end of the day, Maz, it's Mike Jordan. You don't say nothing. And this is where the story goes south. My boy Larnell said, hey, Mike, man, I appreciate you. I love all that you do. I just want to let you know, Kobe's better than you.
Oh, mama.
Let's just say, man, it wasn't a very good ending to that story, but that's my Michael Jordan
That
story.
didn't make it into the last dance.
Nah. that was Larnell's last dance that day. But Adam, let's get it started, buddy.
All right, let's get it. Look, Braylon, I'm sure you're aware. Jim Harbaugh signs technically a 5-year extension through 2026 with the Michigan Wolverines.
Right.
Braylon, one, what the hell took so long? And two, what does it mean for Michigan moving forward?
Moving forward, it means you have stability. You know, that the thing that was pulled this year, obviously you win the Big Ten, you go to the final, you go to the playoffs, you lose to Georgia, you're thinking that you have something going, you're thinking that you're going to run it back. The Michigan program is now where you want it to be. I forgot to mention, they beat the brakes off Ohio State in the trenches. You think you have something going on, and then insert this talk about him going to Vegas, him going to the Vikings, him actually leaving to interview for the Vikings. The fact that you now have 5 years, you have some structure, you have some concept, you now know that he's not going anywhere, you have stability that's good for recruiting, that's good for players that are there, that's good for the Michigan morale and the fan base. The $7 million is the one that's interesting, though.
Yeah, look at his contract. Put that up,
The $7
Alex.
million is the one that kind of interests me. He's played less than Mel Tucker, who's making 9 or making 10 over at Michigan State. He's making $7 million. He has incentives, and last year he did reach those incentives. But as you know, it's tough to get through that gauntlet that is the Big Ten East and then beat Ohio State at the end of the year. Looking at these incentives, what do you think about the incentives, Beydoun?
I don't mind it. Look, he deserved to get paid.
Yeah.
He was basically working for free. Some to
1
his
year
own fault.
he worked for free.
1 year,
quote,
but you know
unquote.
what? I don't know. I think people tell the Jim Harbaugh story incorrectly. 7 years prior to Jim Harbaugh, they were 46-42. I could do a better job coaching Michigan in that time span.
Right.
True.
He comes in, they're 61-24, 1-5 in bowl games. Yeah, sure, that's the knock on him. Lost to Georgia in the college football playoff. Finally beats Ohio State, but every year Michigan was in the top 7 in the AP poll. They finished in the top 5 2 times under Jim Harbaugh. They haven't done that even the years prior under Lloyd Carr when they even won the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Harbaugh story is as simple as this, and Braylon would know more about this than I would. there's something that has to be said about the Michigan elite, the people at the top that just prevent that program from going forward. They introduced the NIL program, but
and
we
Michigan
don't know
didn't
how
even
much
want to take advantage of that. Yeah.
I hope they take advantage of it because I think there's no bigger school than Michigan when it comes to NIL.
Yeah, no bigger school. You know, you're talking about the third-rated team in terms of the amount of revenue brought in through the football team. Number one is Texas A&M, and number one is Texas. Mm-hmm. Number two is Texas A&M.
It's always bigger out there, huh?
Hey, everything's bigger in Texas, so they say. That's what George Strait said.
Oil money,
but
as you would know.
The interesting thing about the Jim Harbaugh situation as you relate to the wins and the losses is you can a lot of wins in games that didn't matter and a lot of losses. I mean, we've been through that rhetoric now all season. Here it is. He's got to where he needs to be. He's gotten the money. And the fact that he's settled at $7 million, it says enough. I think he's fine with the $7 million. He's not looking for more. The incentives he believes are reachable. And he's basically just happy. I think $7 million, you know what that also lets me know? It lets me know that he knew that he was wrong in how he handled the situation from January to February 2nd. He felt like he was wrong and said, you know what? I'll just take 7. I'll take some incentives. Let's get this thing back rolling. I don't want to be a headache as opposed to, well, Mel Tucker's getting this, or Brian Kelly's getting this, et cetera, et cetera. So I think he was more so looking at himself, hey, I'm sorry that I caused this. I'm sorry that I had to ask this. I'm sorry that it looked a certain way. I'll take 7. It's more than I need. And it also leaves you some money to pay assistants. I think that's a good move.
That's what I was just going to say. He wanted his assistants to be paid. Matter of fact, he reached in his own pocket last season,
except Gaddis,
and paid them. Yeah, except that, and he paid the staff as well, the office staff. So he reached in his own pocket for that. The kicker is on this, the buyout on this deal is not expensive again. So if he wants to get out of this contract, it's only going to cost him $2-3 million. There it is.
I think it's a team-friendly deal. What that tells me is, hey Jim, we're all in for the next few years. Let's try to go back to the college football playoff. And you know what? At the end of 3 years, if you win one more Big Ten title and you're ready to walk away, anybody in the NFL that wants you, they can pay $1.5 million for you.
I think also a good thing about that is what it allows the team to do. It allows you to build some, once again, stability, but it allows Jim to groom from within. You have Sharon Moore, who he really likes a lot, who the players like a lot, the individuals, the team, the fan base likes a lot. You have Mike Hart. That was the big knock on Mike taking over this year. It's like Mike's not ready to take over this year, but we want Mike to be the guy to take over. I think with this structure, with this contract, and the way Jim's in on this, I think it allows you to pull from within and groom somebody. So if you're looking at that third year where that buyout is 1.5, that might be the year where you insert Mike Hart, you insert Sharon Moore, you insert fourth year Ron Bellamy. I know I'm getting my hopes up with Ron Bellamy, but that's me being biased.
Look, I mean, what it means moving forward is they're committed. I don't think we're going to hear NFL talk for at least 2 seasons, at least, unless it's a total train wreck.
I think he's done with the NFL. I mean,
really?
he's too old, quote unquote. They're not hiring elder statesmen anymore in the NFL.
That's a very good point. NFL's going in that young, offensive-minded direction. But look, I think if I'm a GM, I'm at least exploring the idea. I may not hire him. The idea of a Jim Harbaugh 2-3 years from now. It depends what my situation is, but Jim's got a big decision to make this spring and really in the summer.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with
Starting
that.
Quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Starting quarterback. That for me is the make or break for Jim Harbaugh these next 2-3 years. I swear, if Cade McNamara is named the starting quarterback this spring, summer, I myself will drive up to Ann Arbor, I'll kidnap him, I'll lock him in my basement, and if you want nothing done to him in a harmful fashion, you'll start J.J. McCarthy. That's
Adam,
my solution.
I'll be right there with you, just for the record. J.J. McCarthy has to start.
Hey, I might be driving that car. I agree because literally, and we talked about this on the show. We talked about this on the pregame show to the Orange Bowl that Friday night. I said, can Jim pull the trigger like Nick Saban did? You look at what Nick Saban did in the national championship game with Tua Tagovailoa. He literally benched Jalen Hurts, the guy that got him there, puts in Tua Tagovailoa. They win the national championship. Dabo Swinney did a similar thing during the season, the following season, where he benches Kelly Robinson. I believe benches him. Kelly transferred to Missouri, and he starts Trevor Lawrence. And what happens? Trevor goes out and gets a national championship.
I think the difference for Jim, especially in the Orange Bowl, was I didn't think they could beat Georgia just by quarterback play. Right. They needed so much to go in their favor. And I didn't think if they swapped McCarthy at halftime or even played him the full game that they could beat Georgia. I think Georgia ended up just being that much better than them that night.
Yeah.
But I think you made a great point. Is Jim going to be ready to cut the throat of a Big Ten champion quarterback who barely throws interception? I hope he does. I really do.
Well, it depends on the offensive coordinator, right? New offensive coordinator.
This is true.
We'll see what kind of plan they come up with, man, because you've got that kid in the back in the backfield with that Edwards last name, Donovan Edwards.
Man.
He's your unicorn.
He's a stud.
You got to use him as much as possible. You got to get him something.
Yeah, and that's the key too. Going into the season, and I'm glad that you look at that schedule. That schedule is very easy. It's very favorable for University of Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, especially after this January to February period. The thing that you got to do early on is you got to find yourself as it relates to offense, because you got a lot of weapons on that team, a lot of weapons for an offensive coordinator to get too bogged down and try to do too much. I saw this with Brian Schottenheimer when I played with the Jets the second year. We had LaDainian Tomlinson, we had Sean Green, we had myself, we had Santonio Holmes, we had Jericho Cotchery, Brad Smith. You had the tight end Dustin Keller. We had so many weapons. So
franchise.
I said weapons.
Yes.
So it's easy to try to, okay, well, we'll get Braylon the balls here. We'll pause. We'll get, LaDainian his carries here. We'll make sure Sean gets his carries here. And you're trying too much to make people happy. It's not about making people happy. It's about what works, what wins games. So don't force a Donovan Edwards situation just to do it, or a Blake Corum, or insert all these wide receivers, Andrell Anthony, the list goes on, Baldwin, etc. Ronnie Bell's coming back to tight ends. Don't force it. Naturally let it happen.
Am I crazy to say that Michigan won't beat Ohio State for the next 10 years if they keep playing football like they did last year? I don't think so.
They had the perfect plan against them last year, though.
They had the perfect
team. Last year's game away. Last year's team was, they had them. They caught them right where they needed to catch them.
Yep.
But Ohio State is only going to get better.
They're only going to get better. My goodness, Marvin Harrison Jr., Ninjimba Smith Jr., Nimija, whatever, Smith. God, I don't know how to say that name. It's unbelievable.
Jackson and Jigba Smith.
Jackson and Jimba Smith. There
Jackson
you go.
Just call it wide receiver U.
They have literally wide receiver U. They pull the number one recruited ranked wide receivers every single year. Michigan, I promise you, if you want to run the ball 40 times and think you're going to beat Ohio State, good luck for the next 10 years.
Here's the one thing. I'm turning into D-Mac. Here's the caveat. Here's the one caveat to that, though. They were very soft in the trenches, and that's something that Michigan and other schools noticed early on in the year. The game against Oregon, that's why Oregon, we talked about that, that's why Oregon had success, is because their offensive line was soft. That's never Ohio State. Their defensive line was soft. That's never Ohio State. So if Ohio State and Ryan Day keep recruiting this finesse-style play of football, Michigan can still have a chance to beat them every year because Michigan is physical. Michigan has gone back to their grassroots, and Ohio State seems to be getting away from what they are.
I think that's fair. I really do. I still think J.J. McCarthy is the play long-term for them, but I got to hear about MyBookie, man.
We'll get you MyBookie right now, because if you want to go to mybookie.ag, you can do it. Use that promo code Woodward. They'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's right, Woodward. That's all you got to do. I've got the NBA All-Star game coming up this weekend. How about the All-Star competition, the slam dunk competition? Get in on all the action. Of course, NHL, NBA as well. Baseball, spring training. Ain't going to happen for a while, but who the heck knows when baseball is going to be back. We miss our football, but there's future bets. How about betting the Lions at 200 to 1, huh? Put a couple of bucks on them. At mybookie.ag, it's easy to use. And use that promo code Woodward. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Well, you heard Matt talk about the All-Star games this weekend. Guess what would make the All-Star experience even better? You know what that is, Adam?
Oh, I know it.
A little bit of that gypsy vodka. Man, that stuff is pure. I know they had a lot of that at the Undies run last Saturday, as well as the Stafford Bowl party this past Sunday at the Brass Grill. Gypsy vodka, 50 formulas from Adam Mike went into making this thing right, and man, it is ever so smooth. I'm talking about corn distilled 6 times with artesian spring water. This stuff is the stuff of dreams. Go down to your local neighborhood liquor store and ask for Gypsy vodka. And if you're gonna drink, if you're gonna party this weekend with Gypsy, make sure you do it responsibly.
Ooh, Super Bowl parades,
Man.
guys.
Oh,
Speaking of
that was a
drinking,
parade?
Speaking of responsible drinking,
That was a parade?
that seemed like a night out at the club, just in broad
S
daylight
show.
in front
Yeah.
of the whole entire world.
it seemed like a carryover from the night before. Like they just kind of rode into the morning and afternoon.
Show that video
I
of
don't
1
know how
hour
they
prior.
do it. I don't know how you drink that long and still function. I would be passed out on the stage next to the Lombardi. Look at them driving around
Look,
here.
this is 1 hour prior to the parade.
It filled up quick, though, to be fair to them.
I
I
know,
know
but
a lot
come
of people were giving them crap, but it did fill up.
Not that much.
I mean, it's L.A. People got a million things to do.
That looks
They're
like the
doing
back
blow
road.
and sleeping with hookers. Like it's
That looks
come on.
like the back road that nobody came on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's this road
This is
at?
where the celebration was going to be, at the end of the
Where's
parade.
this road at? Who's celebrating what?
I don't know. Look, all I know is that if Detroit ever does something like that, I don't think
Oh,
you
my
could
God.
find parking anywhere in the
It'd be
state.
from here all the way down to LCA from
There'd be
here.
people standing on top of Ford Field.
It was fun. I tell you what, though, like it may have been that many people there at that time, but later on it filled up. It was fun. It was full of excitement, and Matt Stafford was the MVP.
Well, did you guys
yesterday.
catch the Jared Goff sign?
Oh, God, that's awesome.
The what?
Pop
Look
it
at
up.
this.
Look at this.
Jared Goff died for that.
That's awesome.
He's right.
Yo,
One person was sent to hell, and the other was sent to heaven.
Isn't
Jared
that
Goff was
something?
sent to
He was.
basically the absolute bottom of
You
the
remember
bottom.
when he came here? He came here with a bodyguard.
security guard.
He had
That's
no
right.
idea.
He walked around Birmingham thinking he was going to get shanked.
He had no
I
idea.
thought that was
Poor
Spencer
guy.
out there. So
Poor guy.
what do you think the morning of the Super Bowl? I take that back. The day after the Super Bowl, which is Monday. How was Jared Goff when he woke up in the morning? What was he thinking about, Adam?
I'll tell you what he was thinking
No,
about.
I'm
He
ready
was
for
looking
this.
at himself in the mirror, and he was ready to punch himself. But then, the door was open. So
Okay.
he turned to the right, and he saw his girlfriend.
Oh, that's Mad's girl.
He saw his girl. She was butt naked.
She was butt
And he
naked.
cheered
Don't
up.
say that.
And he cheered up. And then he opened up the Chase account, and he's like, all right, I'm good. I'll live.
He said, you know that it's another 38 this year. I'll be okay.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
I think at the end of the day, I think he wasn't happy the way things ended, the way in which McVay kind of outed him, the way in which McVay kind of made him seem.
Yeah,
a
but
certain-
who's the better quarterback?
No. But I was gonna finish.
Yeah.
But I think also he's real with himself. Like he looked at some of those throws Matt Stafford has made all year, and against him, he looked at that game. He looked at himself and said, "I can live with this."
Yeah.
Let me
I
ask
can
you
live
guys
with
this. You just said Stafford's better than Goff. Okay. Goff took them to the Super Bowl. They played the New England Patriots. Stafford took the Rams to the Super Bowl. They played the Cincinnati Bengals.
I think that's fair to say.
Okay? It's two different
But you
things,
keep-
man.
But Jared Goff
but
threw
you-
one touchdown that entire postseason.
yeah.
Matthew Stafford carried the Rams to the Super Bowl.
I got you. I'm not.
I know.
I'm a Stafford fan.
I'm adding context
Good,
because
that's
I think it's
excellent.
fair for you to say that.
Excellent.
Well, he
I
got
don't.
Bill Belichick.
I don't.
The other guy got Zach Taylor, but I'm sorry. One dude was carrying that football team.
I
And
don't think it's fair because Maz always likes to say that. He always like, well, Jared went to the Super Bowl. I'm like, Jared Goff had Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley had one of the best seasons of
He
any
was the
NFL
best
running
player
back
in the
ever.
NFL that year.
He won MVP. Like he had one of the best seasons ever in terms. Like he had seven
Over
pass
2,000
receiving,
yards from
over
scrimmage.
2,000 yards from scrimmage, 19 total touchdowns rushing. Like he was a man child amongst boys that year. So it's not that he took them. He was on a team that got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he
And
was
then they
along
just-
for the ride, Mass. It's like, we go to the titty bar, me, you,
I
and
get it.
Braylon, and, you guys are doing all the
Yeah.
work, and I'm just benefiting from it.
No doubt.
That would be us, and Maz would be benefiting.
I was trying to,
I'd love to
trying
benefit.
show some love
Thank
for
you.
Mass.
But also, then you look at that, and then Sean McVay, he pooped the bed against the Patriots.
He
It's
did.
not like the Patriots were world beaters
Well,
that
he-
game.
Nope.
he lost
They were
the
in
game.
it until the Gronkowski
The Gronk
catch.
yep.
He lost the game when he looked across the field at Belichick.
I don't think
He-
so. I think McVay lost that game when they were running out of the tunnel. He looked up on the Megatron and he saw Bill Belichick running out with Tom Brady. And then he looked to his left and said, fuck.
Timestamp.
Timestamp that.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. It's like, shoot.
Imagine going to a gunfight. One dude's got an MG42 lined up in front of
And
you.
you got a
You're,
dusty
you're
old
holding a
revolver.
pencil. I mean, that's the difference.
Do you really think Jared Goff was a pencil at that moment?
At that moment, no, he was a lot better. But I think that was the moment in time where he started regressing.
Remember, he was the #1 pick in the draft.
That
And
doesn't
McVay-
mean anything. So
McVay
was
got
Sam
him paid.
Bradford. So was Sam
But
Bradford.
Sam Bradford didn't get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but also look what was around him. Like you keep saying, get to the Super Bowl. You got to look what was around him. And you could have put a lot of average quarterbacks on that team to get to the Super Bowl that year. Because what did Jared Goff lead? He led play, action, pass.
He did nothing.
Just like my dad was talking about, when you putting the ball as Troy Aikman in Emmitt Smith's chest, everybody sucks up, and then you drop back and throw the ball over the head to Alvin Harper or Michael Irvin. It's the same thing. When you're putting the ball into Todd Gurley's chest, everybody's coming up. Shoot, I can name a lot of quarterbacks that can do that. Ryan Tannehill could have did that.
Well, what happened to Gurley in the Super Bowl?
No, Sean McVay's game plan.
Yeah, look, I don't think it was clearly he coached a really bad game. He even said it. Yeah. I was over-prepared. I was, I guess, quote-unquote, starstruck Bill Belichick on the opposing sideline. He learned, and you know what? He had a better quarterback, and they could have run the ball for a lick the entire postseason. They still got it done. Credit to the defense.
You know what? He called a lousy Super Bowl, too.
Oh, hell yeah, he did.
Year.
What was it? 5 straight drives on second and median situations. They kept running the ball and losing 2-3 yards every play. Man, he didn't coach a perfect game, but he didn't have to win a Super Bowl.
That first drive, exactly, because
Aaron
Donald and Zach Taylor. But if you look at the first drive of the game, everybody talks about, Odell Beckham getting hurt. Yes, Odell Beckham getting hurt almost cost them the game. But if you follow that first drive, I'm sorry, Odell was playing on that first drive. 5 and out, they looked awful. They got sacked on the second play of the game. Henderson got a sack first play. They looked really bad at the beginning of the game. I said, oh, shoot, here we go again. Then Odell scores, but then Odell gets hurt. It wasn't looking good for them either until the final drive.
Maz, you brought up, Jared Goff got them to a Super Bowl. And I know you probably agree with me. But it's tough to say that because I know that there's maybe 3 quarterbacks in the NFL right now that would have won every game like Matthew Stafford did this year. Not many. I think Mahomes could have done it.
Yeah.
Brady for sure would have done it.
Josh Allen.
And I'd likely trust Allen over Herbert and even Rodgers. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers in the postseason. Yeah, nobody did what this guy did in the postseason. 4-0, 3 game-winning drives, 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns.
This fourth quarter was impeccable.
He was the best fourth quarter quarterback all season.
Sometimes things are just meant to be because legitimately, if that interception, if the 49ers defensive his safety would have caught that interception, the dream would have been. The dream would have ended. They would have won the game. 49ers would have been the team of destiny. It's team of destiny. The guy drops it, hits him right in the basket. The guy drops it.
Jalen Ramsey dropping 2 picks. Pick 6 is really against the Niners. I mean, a lot of things always have to happen for you to win it all.
Yeah. Sure.
Michigan needed Ohio State to come out slow and sloppy to start that game. They needed to score on their first drive. They needed that interception to start that game against Ohio State, even though Caden McNamara is an idiot and he threw an interception. But I'll look past it. You need things sometimes to go your way. Everybody does. Brady needed Russell Wilson to throw an interception and call a pass play.
The Tuck rule.
Like the Tuck rule, thank you.
To win a Super Bowl, to win an NBA championship, to win the Larry O'Brien, to win Stanley Cup, et cetera, you got to have a little bit of luck.
No doubt.
It doesn't matter how good you are. You got to have a little bit of luck to go your way to ultimately close the door. And the Rams got their little bit of luck. Now they are Stafford sitting here as Super Bowl champ.
I'm just saying Goff isn't as bad as we paint him as. That's all.
I think it's fair to say. And you know what? When we want to talk about context, Matthew Stafford, I think, had the single greatest season from a wide receiver in NFL history.
Yeah,
greatest season. Yeah. 2,400
they
yards,
clicked.
22 touchdowns.
9 and 10 clicked.
And not only did they click, Braylon, you worked with a ton of quarterbacks in your career.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately. But you know
Charlie
what? You know
Fry.
the hours and you know the work it takes to get, that rapport, that chemistry. They said after the Super Bowl, we put in 201 hours, over 5 days worth of work outside of practice to make that happen. Yeah. That's why they deserve to win.
That's real because what happens is, after practice, guys don't want to do the extra work. Like what guys consider extra work is after practice is over, you go out there and get on the jugs. Then after that, you go do your quick lift. You go watch film and you take your CDs home. I know the guys are doing it digitally now. You take your stuff home, you watch it. That's extra work. What these guys are doing is not jugs. Like when everybody leaves the facility, okay, now they're going out there. They're going over the routes. They're walking the routes together. They're walking through the concepts. They're throwing the ball. They're literally right here 2 hours after everybody goes home. 1.5 hours before everybody comes in. That's what you call extra work. Not just catching 100 balls on a jug machine. That's easy.
100%. The first one in, last one
out.
What
did Kobe do after games? He shot like 100 free throws.
Kobe has the best.
Kobe's different.
Showing up before nobody was even awake.
He was a maniac
moments.
when it comes to that stuff. Nobody will ever do that again.
He's in his own stratosphere.
I think the one Kobe story that always clicks with me is from the Olympics, actually, where the guys were trying to do a shoot-around. They're like, hey, Kobe.
Ice bags on his knees already?
He showed up to the breakfast at 7 in the morning with ice packs on his shoulders and his knees. That's Kobe Bryant for you.
Love that guy.
Unbelievable. I mean, talk about one of the best all time. I have him over a certain guy, but maybe today's not the conversation.
No, it's his birthday.
Not on his birthday.
Don't you? No, not over MJ. Not over.
Yeah, I'm fine with LeBron.
Yeah, I'm talking about the.
I'm fine with LeBron.
You call him LeBron? No, I have a different name.
LeFraud?
No, LeBitch. Him and KD, biggest bitches I ever heard of in my life, man. Can't believe it. One leaves Steph Curry for the guy that believes in the flat earth. Unbelievable. Well, I'll tell you guys what. We got some fun stuff coming up next.
Like this Hall of Fame. What do you think about this Pro Football Reference? We got to get to that. This Pro Football Reference Hall of Fame monitor.
I mean, we're going to find out if Stafford's a Hall of Famer
Some interesting stuff.
Numbers-wise, it's not looking good.
Wow. That's what people say.
Yeah.
I've got numbers to back it up.
But we'll find out when we get back on Armani and Edwards. The bottom line with my boy Adham Beydoun filling in today. Bottom line, we'll see you guys in 2 and 2.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
All right, guys, listen up. I got to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet.
Oh, man, tell me something.
Let me tell you. Les Stanford, located in Dearborn, by the way, hometown, home city, Michigan Avenue. Les Stanford is your Chevrolet, or excuse me, your Corvette king. GM announced the all-new 2023 Corvette Z06. Flat plane V8 engine, capable of 670 horsepower. Honestly, I'm not smart enough to calculate how much that is in terms of physics, but it's fast, guys. It's fast, and the best deals, the best people, the best you can get, the best service you can get.
0 to 60.
That's what it's about, is that
it's all about the service.
2 seconds, 0 to 60.
It's all about the service. Les Stanford Chevrolet does it all for you guys. Check them out. And we got to get into it, man. Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame.
Braylon, 0 to 2 seconds, that's kind of like Matt Stafford's Hall of Fame career.
I've seen some former players get really defensive about it, right?
Right.
And I get it. And I guess we need to introduce it the only way you can. This quote-unquote Pro Football Reference Hall of Fame monitor. Well, what the hell does that mean? To be honest, I don't care. I don't care. When I look at a guy, to be honest, if it wasn't for his 2 Super Bowls, and not only that, if it wasn't for his dad or his brother, I swear to you, if he wasn't a Manning, he's not in the Super Bowl even, or excuse me, the Hall of Fame, even with 2 Super Bowls. Yeah. I'd be willing to make that argument.
You're talking against Eli Manning?
I am talking.
He's a New York guy.
I'm so sorry.
You're so wrong, by the way.
How?
Look at his postseason numbers. Look at the teams he's beaten.
That is fair. He does hold the record.
Look at his road postseason record.
Yeah, but it's only for 2 seasons.
He's a Hall of Famer.
In that case, put in that Julian Edelman.
No, Julian Edelman.
If you're going to look at his playoff numbers, Julian Edelman has the best numbers of any wide receiver of all time, playoff numbers.
Okay, Maz, I'm sorry. I'm a little biased. I know you're from New York, but I hate Eli Manning with a passion. Okay. He ruined my childhood. I'm not even a paid because I'm trying to see history, and this ugly-looking white dude is winning games he has no business winning.
Are you talking about 07? Talking about the 07 season?
I saw the main history. 1972, perfect 14-0 record in the regular season, 3 playoff wins, 17-0. The Miami Dolphins.
I hate those guys. Every year they pop champagne when nobody's undefeated.
Ever in the history of the NFL.
Unreal.
And that's the way it's going to stay.
Yeah, because the NFL is whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
It's skewed for nostalgia.
But I want to know opinions around the room.
Right.
Is Stafford a Hall of Famer? And not only can he be, because I'm sure that may be the answer from both of you, but right now, is he a Hall of Fame quarterback?
No.
Maz, Hall of Fame quarterback? Right now?
Yes. You know why I say yes? Because Steve Young said it's yes. Why the hell shouldn't I listen to Steve Young?
Well, I'm not going to listen to Steve Young.
Why are you better than Steve Young? Why are you better than Steve Young?
I'll tell you why.
Steve was being nice. Adam's coming with the facts.
I got you. Steve's a nice guy.
I got your
love
facts
Steve.
for you.
He's one of my favorite people.
Oh, but you got to answer yours before you say it.
Oh, he is a Hall of Famer.
Right now, he's a Hall of Famer.
Right now, retires today.
Okay, I'll go second. You go.
He's a Hall of Famer, and I'll tell you why. From 2011 to 2017, Matthew Stafford's quote-unquote prime years in Detroit were he only made 1 Pro Bowl, no All-Pros, was never recognized
MVP of the Pro Bowl.
MVP of the Pro Bowl, of course, but I don't care about that. I don't care about the Pro Bowl. They ruined it when they allowed idiot fans at home to vote on it. Thank you. 2-hand touch ball, actually. But
exactly.
Regardless of the point, in those prime years, for those 7 seasons, Tom Brady threw for 31,000 yards, 227 touchdowns, 57 interceptions, was sacked 208 times. I'm not going to go through the next 4 quarterback stats, but I'll kind of sum it up for you. There are 5 quarterbacks that share the platform over those 7 years as the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, and Matthew Stafford.
All right.
Now, of all the 5 guys, Matthew Stafford is 2nd in passing yards, 4th in passing touchdowns. And he is the most sacked quarterback of the bunch.
Right.
And he is the quarterback with the statistically worst defense over that 7-year stretch than any of these guys who are regarded as some of the best in the game.
Right.
And the mind-boggling thing for me with Matthew Stafford is that he gave you the numbers. And, people call him Stat Patford. I think he erased that narrative after 1 year. But that's kind of, Braylon, my biggest argument is he got away from the chaos. Mm-hmm. He got away from Detroit. And in one season, he did what every player dreams of doing, and some. Set records. The most touchdowns ever in a regular season and postseason combined by a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Yep. The most yards ever by that guy. The best fourth quarter quarterback all season long. Regular season, playoffs, didn't matter. And for me, when I look at that, that's that one in the chamber that you just, not that you can argue it, but damn. When I tell the story of... let's say I want to tell a story of a player I want to induct into the Hall of Fame. Let's use Shannon Sharp's brother.
Sterling
His
Sharp. Numbers are ridiculous.
How can he not be in the Hall of Fame?
Snapshot.
Given the same production. He was the best in the league at one point. He was close to a Triple Crown twice. Yeah. And when I look at Stafford, what I see, he played for the worst franchise in sports. In any sport, really, for that fact, so the NFL.
So to some of those stats, you got to look at it like this. Yes, his numbers in terms of passing yards, his passing numbers make him number 2. He's right there with all those guys. Those guys played on winning teams. When you play on a butt team, you have a lot of pointless passing yards because you're always behind.
But you're on the butt team, right?
But you're always behind.
But in those 7 years.
Which means you're going to have more passing yards because you're behind every game.
That's where Rob Parker's pad Stafford.
In those 7 years, 11 to 17.
Yeah.
I'm going to break it down even more.
But then it also goes, I'll let you talk. Just give me 2 more seconds.
Go ahead.
Just 2 more seconds.
You got it.
It goes to always being behind, which means all you're doing is throwing. So at the rate you're throwing, now as Tom Brady throw at that rate, as Ben Roethlisberger throw at that rate, as Drew Brees throw at that rate, Drew Brees, especially Drew Brees, their numbers jump up and they skyrocket because they didn't have to pass.
You're going to love this.
The second thing about that, okay, I'm waiting. Second thing about that with Matt Stafford in terms of that, it's also about quality of time, quality of period, quality of what you've done. And yes, he played for the worst team. That's not his fault, but that's also not the NFL Hall of Fame's fault. You can't put somebody in with no wins against major teams, with no wins that matter, no playoff runs that matter, no playoff wins, if you will. That's why I say, is he going to get in? Yes. By the time he finishes his career, he'll be a first ballot when he finishes. But now he can't be in. I don't think so.
Is it fair to say where you go in the NFL matters? I think it does.
That was our topic 2 years ago.
Hall of Fame?
Look.
Yeah, no, 100%.
The Cleveland Browns?
100%.
I agree with you 100%.
Clowns, you mean?
But in the 16 years prior to Matthew Stafford being drafted by the Detroit Lions, they only made the postseason 1 time.
Right.
1 time. In 2011, he dragged that sorry team to the playoffs. In 2014, he had his best team, and they didn't deliver. I'm willing to hold him accountable that year.
Yeah.
And then in 16.
Great team.
16, he carried them. 8 comeback wins that year. Carried them into Seattle against the Legion of Boom, where they had no business really winning.
Right.
And the rest is history.
You're right about
I try to
all
look
of that.
at context, too, because I don't think it's fair to hold an organization, a head coach, against an individual player. When I look at Stafford, this is the biggest thing. All right, he was in chaos and dysfunction for 12 years. I can't put him in the Hall of Fame based on those 12 years. He left for 1 year, and he was the best quarterback in the NFL this year, regular season and postseason combined.
Yes,
he won a Super Bowl.
Second half of the year, he wasn't good. He was injured. The team was injured.
He was the MVP frontrunner 9 weeks in.
Yeah, 9 weeks in. But the following 7 weeks weren't very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so they backed into the championship, by the way.
He
carried them into that game, but
he backed. They lost that game, and they still won the division thanks to the Cardinals.
Oh, you mean Week 18? Excuse me. I'm sorry.
I got to preface it. I have to preface it as I don't want anybody out there like I definitely appreciated what Stafford did this year. I definitely am proud of him. He's become one of my favorite people. Like watching him celebrate, watching the way he celebrate. This is what it means when you see somebody like go all in and wait for the right time. Like wait until the work meets the gratification to the work, meets what the end goal was. His end goal was always win the Super Bowl. It was always to put himself in a situation where he shows people this is who I am. And my God, did he do it this year? So I'm happy and I'm proud for him, especially his wife. His wife supported him.
Absolutely.
She's been his mouthpiece. I love their relationship. Him walking into the pool with his clothes on, I did it. Like, I'm proud. I'm happy for him. I'm just also just looking at the question as the way the question was posed. And that being, it doesn't matter that he was on the Lions. He's not a Hall of Famer as of right particularly now.
People in the chat want to bring up interceptions. I'm ready for you.
That's part of the game.
All right, interceptions are part of the game.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in that 7-year stretch, 57 and 46 interceptions. They are brilliant. I can't say anything about that. Ben Roethlisberger, who you have going to the Hall of Fame. Drew Brees, who you have and is as accomplished as Matthew Stafford, is going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, by the way, Matt and Drew had the same amount of Super Bowl wins right now. Very quietly.
Absolutely. And you know, beyond that, in that 7-year stretch, Brees had the same amount of interceptions as Matthew Stafford. Wow. Ben had more. So take your interceptions and shove them up your ass.
Yeah.
Because it's a passing league and quarterbacks are going to make mistakes.
Nice going there, Goat.
Yeah.
I got something for you guys. Just a sidebar on Eli Manning. Honestly, you two sit up there and tell me that Eli is not a Hall of Famer?
I never said he was a Hall of Famer.
I said I'm salty. I had to wear a Peyton Manning jersey.
He has to be a Hall of Famer.
Well,
but he's a Hall of Famer, yes, but it's because you cannot deny 2 Super Bowl MVPs. You can't deny 2 Super Bowl wins, and you can't deny the good stats. But if you look at it very honestly, if you weren't a New Yorker, you can see why we would say that. He in his 16 years, he missed the playoffs 11 times.
All right, listen. Mike Greenberg. He's one of the best in the business. Am I not correct? 100%. Listen to what Mike Greenberg has to say about Eli. No, we'll do it now. Do it now. Thank you, Alec.
Well, the question that I saw being asked a lot on social media yesterday was, is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? Well, allow me to answer that. He's a mortal lock. And you are allowed to think whatever you want about how good he was.
Down?
That is subjective. But the only fair way to measure a career is to look objectively at what a player accomplished. So let's do that. Eli Manning is one of 5 players to win multiple Super Bowl MVPs. The others are all football royalty: Montana, Brady, Bradshaw, and Starr. Eli won more playoff games than Steve Young or Jim Kelly. He won more road playoff games than his brother did, or than Brady, or than Brett Favre. In fact, he beat Favre and Aaron Rodgers both in playoff games at Lambeau Field. That's 2 of the 5 playoff games the Packers have ever lost in that building. And then, of course, Eli beat Brady, the GOAT, twice in the Super Bowl and played great in both. In fact, during the Giants' 2 championship runs under Eli, he threw 15 touchdowns and 2 picks in the playoffs. This is the 100th season of pro football, and in that time, a total of 7 quarterbacks have thrown more touchdowns and 6 have thrown for more yards. That's ever. And not many more have been the faces of a franchise in the nation's meanest media market and managed that as gracefully as this guy did. So if this is indeed the beginning of the end of Eli, he deserves a respectful tip of the cap, and he can book the flights right now if he wants to, round trip to Canton, Ohio, in exactly 5 years.
Wow, wow, wow. Talk about a mic drop. I cannot wait to talk about this. I really can't. Guys, you're listening to The Bottom Line. We're going to talk about Eli Manning, Arizona Cardinals. I'm so excited. You're listening to The Bottom Line. That's Braylon Edwards. I'm Adham Beydoun. Alex Mayer in the TD booth. Sam Reynolds in the audio booth. And, of course, the lovely and always eloquently dressed Tom Mazawey. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Second.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
You know who would be a great guy at foaling? Eli Manning, that's for sure. How about the foaling warehouse of Hamtramck? That's right. And our great host, Chris and Noni Hunt. They invented foaling. What is foaling? Throwing football at Bowling Pins. Couple ways to play this game. $10 unlimited open play. You can go when they open, and you got to leave when they close the doors. Private lane reservations. You can get 10 people on that lane for 2 hours, $120. That's all it costs you. They got over 100 beers, $2 mystery beer machine, multiple full bars. You can bring your own food in or even have it delivered. That's right. Come get your Foal on. Check them out at foalingwarehouse.com.
Oh, my goodness. So Eli Manning is extremely, that's a tough one, Mass, because with Eli Manning, he is one of those guys that when he was on and he was playing at a high level, I mean, he was at least top 5 in the league, but it always came at the end of the season, right? He never had that show me what you did for me week 1 up until the playoffs.
No, they backed in a couple of times.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they were the most successful when they did back in. They were never a dominant team, and I cannot just put that on Eli. I have to put it on the organization.
Which goes back to what you said about Stafford. It's like the Mara family has been just as negligent. Let's call it. They have been just as negligent over the last 20 years, or 25 years.
No. They won 4 Super Bowls, man.
I said 25 years. They didn't win 4 Super Bowls in the last 25 years.
But we're 65 years.
Yeah, I think...
but you see,
I get what Matt's saying because
saying.
The Lions are just so crappy. You giving any
you
example...
You can't compare the Lions to anything.
You can't compare...
It's 65 years, 1 playoff win.
It's not about comparing 65 years to 25 years. What I'm simply saying is if you
just
look at the Giants that you want to yell as, you can either yell, I can yell, or we can be back down monotone. Look at the Giants in the last 10 years. Just look at what they've done. And then after every time they win the Super Bowl, look what they do for 10 years, 6 years. Look what they did after they won in 08. Look what they did after they won in 12. Like, they're terrible. Look what they've done to Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham, Daniel Jones. The list goes on to what they've done. So what I meant by that is for Eli, they put him in a lot of bad situations. So, no, they're not like the Lions. No. But to a certain extent, you kind of see where I was going.
You know, a lot of people compare Phillip Rivers to Eli, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess you could make the argument Eli kind of went out on a bad note. 5-11 his last full season.
He won his last game, though.
Then he was benched his final
Beat
season.
Those stinking Eagles.
And that was embarrassing. Look, is he a Hall of Famer, Mass, to answer your question? Yes.
It really doesn't matter what we think.
And I wouldn't even deny
anyway,
it. And I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I agree.
As salty as I am about it, because when he was bad, I mean, he looked like Joey Harrington bad. So it's kind of tough.
There's a guy that's had a bad. That's a bad deal.
Him and David Carr. David Carr and Joey got the worst. But the interesting thing about it is, and I approach it from a player. Whenever I played against these quarterbacks that you name, like the guys. Like the guys, like when I knew they were on the list, they were on the schedule. When I knew we were getting ready to play one of these guys, when we were about to play Tom Brady, oh damn, we gotta play Tom. When I knew we were about to play Drew Brees, damn Drew, Ben Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, you know, quarterbacks like that. When you know you're gonna play against those guys, even though I'm on offense, I won't have to directly play against these quarterbacks, but I'm like, man, it's going to be a long day because you know what to expect from the GOATs, from the great ones, from the first ballot Hall of Famers. Whenever we were playing the New York Giants, I didn't give a damn. Like, it never scared me that I had to play against number 10. That's more so what I'm saying from a player point of view.
I think he's making a really great point, Maz, because you have to remember
never
Eli
scared me one time.
The good and the bad. And the bad really outweighed the good, but the problem is the good was so damn good that you just could never ignore it. Those 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady, the Mario Manningham throw.
That's one of the best throws in NFL history.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the best.
It's better than the Stafford throw.
That throw alone
it's better
got
than
him
the
into the Hall
Stafford
of Fame.
no-look throw in the Super Bowl.
No, I agree.
Not even a comparison.
Backed up from his own end zone. That money dime while under pressure, not even a thing.
Like literally, they win the Super Bowl. We played them. I'm in Cleveland still. They win the Super Bowl. This is the first one. This is when they beat them in Arizona, where the Super Bowl's at this year. We'll talk about that.
That's the David Tyree escape.
That's the David Tyree. They win that. Then the second game of the next year, we played them on Monday Night Football. Who got Monday Night Football Player of the Year? It wasn't Eli Manning. It was me. Never feared. I had 154 at 2 touchdowns. Like, I never feared Eli Manning. That's more so what I'm saying from a player point. You didn't fear him, although once you look at it, you're like, I can't argue with that, though.
No, you can't.
Like, I can't argue with this.
And I'll tell you what, going into next year, you think teams are going to be scared of Matthew Stafford? I think so.
Yeah.
And I think they were this year.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, when guys like Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, before he ever even won or accomplished anything, are telling you this guy is insanely talented. He's great.
Yeah.
Jim Caldwell, Jim Schwartz, Matt Patricia, what the hell do you expect?
Tried to ruin him.
What do you expect?
Did you not like Schwartz? I was a Schwartz fan.
Defensive mind, yeah.
it's tough because sometimes people play a role in history, right? Not everybody is the Sean McVay, Bill Belichick. They win it. Some people are just there to kind of like a placeholder. They set you up for what you're about to experience.
He made the defense tough.
And I think he turned around the culture at the time.
He did turn
He absolutely did. And they had a really good edge rush. And they got it together in 2011.
How about Jimmy handshake? Him and Harbaugh handshake.
I was in that
big
game.
Deal.
That's classic.
I played for the 49ers. I was in that game.
That's sweet.
The infamous.
Were you right there in that scrum?
Coach.
Were you in that scrum?
I was in the locker room already.
All right.
Really?
I was in the locker room already. Yeah, but with Stafford, you said it's about people look at that with Stafford and say they're not scared because they can't shake off with Stafford the Detroit Lions. So when people's all this past year, see now they can. Now they can put a different face on Stafford. They could put a ring on Stafford. They could put the 2022 playoffs with Stafford's face. Before that, no matter how good he was, like you talk about, Dan Orlovsky talks about all the time, how good his throws are. Aaron Rodgers, you brought that up again yesterday, man, how at the end of every Green Bay Lions game, Aaron Rodgers always says, hey, man, that number 9 is something special.
Yeah.
So
he paid him his respect.
People couldn't shake off the Lions deal. Now he has a whole new lease on life because he's got a ring, he's got the respect. And now when you see Stafford, you no longer see the Honolulu blue and silver with bags over their face. You see Super Bowl and you see Aaron Donald.
You guys tell me, do the Lions, if they were in any position at any point in the postseason, if they were in the shoes of the Rams with that team, do the Lions win those games? No.
They find a way.
They'll find a way to lose.
They find a way to lose.
They'll find a way to lose because that's what they are. And they've never had a head coach like a Sean McVay.
Up to now.
A GM like a Les Snead. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think everybody loves Brad Holmes. But so when I'm slandering the Lions, please don't take it as I'm slandering them right now.
220 and back.
Let me ask you this. You bring up Sean McVay, all these hotshot coaches. We look at Dan Campbell in a different light. We look at him as he's not the boy genius like these guys. Cliff Kingsbury. All these good-looking guys. Who's the new guy in Minnesota now?
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell.
Anyone that shook hands with Sean McVay all of a sudden is the hot hire. We look at Dan Campbell differently. We look at him as, man, I want to go to war with that guy. I mean, I saw a picture of him today. Someone tweeted out a picture of him with his long hair over at Texas. Was he at Texas A&M?
Yep, 99.
Yeah, I mean, I just love his look. He oozes football. I love what he did with the team last year. He took the power away from Coach, who's the offensive coordinator?
Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn. Took the power. He's like, look, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down my way. Because you only get one shot at this. But can you put him in there? Would you put Dan Campbell in this new realm of coach?
You know who he reminds me of? Jim Schwartz. Except I think he has higher upside than Jim Schwartz.
Okay.
I think he needs to address the culture, which I think they've done a good job of. And now he needs to show that I can be a leader, I can be a coach. And him doing what he did to Anthony Lynn, ruffled feathers or not, I thought it was a great move. It's a leadership move. It's what you want out of your leaders at a company, a football team, doesn't really matter. And it was the right decision because they got better eventually. And then they promoted the young, offensive-minded guy in Ben Johnson.
I'm looking
so I don't
forward
think
to
he
him.
needs to be that.
I think he's in that realm of coach of Ron Rivera and Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel was around.
Okay.
I think Mike Vrabel was around better people. He learned from better people in terms of learning the next step, how to coach defensive coordinators, then be a coach. But I think he's in that Ron Rivera, Mike Vrabel snapshot, 100%. I think he'll be in that snapshot. Next, you know what we got to get to?
What's up?
We got to get to these free agents, man. Some free agents on the board, man. They talk about too early comeback player of the year, but I like this free agent category because the Detroit Lions definitely need some pieces. And now we can talk about what pieces are available for the Detroit Lions. Want to go there?
Absolutely. I'm ready for it, man. I don't know who and what people think is actually going to happen for the Detroit Lions, but I'll tell you right now, it ain't going to be much.
Hey, and I don't know if there's much out there, but I think there's some good stuff out there for them.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? We're going to talk about it right when we get back. You're tuning into The Bottom Line today with Adam, Braylon, Maz, and the crew. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
It's The Bottom Line.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
For over a decade, SMA has been leveraging relationships as it relates to notables, athletes, in terms of dealing with mental health and also special abuse disorder. Myself, Devin Gardner, Michael Ealy, Lomas Brown are just a few of the individuals that have been working alongside NFL alumni Sean Jordan and his mission to help those in need. Right now, you can be a part of that. Check it out. Sports Marketing Agency has a podcast coming here to the Woodward Sports Network called This is the F Word. And the F Word is for fentanyl. I can't wait to be a part of that, as I myself will be working with Sean on that as well with Woodward Sports Network. If you or someone you know is in need of help, please reach out to thesportsma.com. That is thesportsma.com. We will be here to provide the help you need or to provide you information on how you can get the help you need.
All right, baby. We're back. We're back. We got free agents to talk about. And not only certain free agents, there's clearly the upper echelon of free agents, Braylon, that everybody's going to want to sign. Your Devontae Adams, Marcus Williams, Christian Kirk, maybe. No, I'm joking. Allen Robinson.
How about Juju?
You know what? Honestly, I have a policy.
Braylon don't like Juju.
Good. I have a policy. If I'm a GM, if you have a TikTok and you're dancing at any point in the locker room or on the middle of the field during the football season, I'm cutting your ass.
You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I said. My problem with Juju isn't his skill. We've seen his skill at USC. We saw his skill in the beginning when he first got to the Steelers. He was Mr. 90-yard touchdown for 3 years in a row. I saw that. I liked all that. He is too much of a kid. He cares about going viral more than he cares about playing football and getting to the playoffs. I can't deal.
I might get canceled for saying this. I don't care. Cooper Kupp is more accepted in the black community than Juju Smith-Schuster is right now. That I can guarantee you.
Is that true, Braylon?
I'm going to have to do some research on that.
You know it's true.
But definitely it is. It is. You know, Juju comes out with the pink hair and it's the blue hair.
I can't.
Then it's the other hair. Then it's trying to go viral.
Odell's got purple hair.
Yeah, but Odell's a dude, man. He's
done that from stage. He's done that from
man.
jump.
He's a grown man.
Odell started it. Like, Odell was his own person. He started, and everybody's trying to catch up. Like, with Juju, the thing that really took me over the top this year was he's always trying to, dancing. He's dancing in the locker room. He's, doing kid play. He's always doing something. He's a kid. There's nothing wrong with being a kid. Odell came in as a kid. The difference is Odell was getting 1,600 on the field every year. But the thing that took me over the top this year, Adam, remember before the season started, there was a little challenge going viral. I think you might remember it, Sam, as well as Alex. Maz, you even remember when they were stacking the crates?
Oh, yeah.
All the way to the top, and then you had to walk up
the
and walk
crates
down. Juju Smith-Schuster did one literally about 3-4 days before training camp started. He did one and fell towards the end of it. Like, he can't. Sam, go ahead.
The funny thing about Juju is his second year, he was actually incredible. He had over 1,400 yards. His fall from grace has been staggering because I thought he was going to be one of the best receivers in the league, but hell no.
I agree. I agree with him. Literally, he had 1,100 as a rookie. I think he had 1,400 that next year. He took that next leap, which was good for them because he took that leap in the absence of Antonio Brown. Like, that's when he took that leap, and so you're like, okay, cool. It's good that they moved on from him. And now it's all about going viral.
All right, so he fell off the crates, and what happened?
You fall. No, that's what happened. He decided that trying to do this viral challenge was more important than being ready and getting ready for training camp. And then, ironically, is it ironic? He got injured this year, as he's done the last 3 years in a row. I just can't deal with somebody who cares more about going viral than they do being on that football field.
You don't think he's going to grow?
No.
I mean, and that's the thing, Maz.
Odell did.
Maz, he's still young. He still can grow. But guess what? He ain't going to do it on my watch.
Odell acted out with, the Giants and Cleveland. And not the Giants, obviously, with the Eli days. We're talking post where they were just losing every year. He went to the Rams and was surrounded by guys that held people accountable. Dude, he's in Pittsburgh, the ultimate franchise, the ultimate model of going to work, putting in hard work.
They are the team.
Yeah, I can't with Juju. I'm done with him.
Odell was Odell, but listen to this. Odell's first year, 1,300. Odell's second year, 1,400. Odell's third year, 1,300. Odell's fifth year, 1,000. So it's like he was clowning and acting up, but Odell was going out there and getting it too. So, Okay,
I want to clarify a comment in the chat. I don't think you guys listened to me enough. Matthew Stafford for the 2021-2022 season, regular season and the playoffs together, was the best quarterback in the NFL. I'll say it a little slower. Matthew Stafford was the best quarterback in the NFL this year.
Was he better than Joe Burrow?
He was better than every single quarterback this entire year, including Brady. Now, if you want to talk about the regular season, I think Brady had a better year. Yeah. I didn't think Rodgers had a better year. He's too much of a you-know-what, but whatever.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford at least was top 3 this year, just regular season. But the postseason, he took it to a new level that no other quarterback in the league could.
Let's be honest about it. And this is for the people in the chat too, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys are always smash that like button. I know Ryan isn't here. Maybe I'll step up for Ryan. Smash that like button. We appreciate you guys every day. The B-liners coming on, showing love. You listen to us. You give us hope, man. You are the reason why we do what we do. Smash that like button. Try to get us to wherever we are. I know Adam's looking at the numbers. I don't know what they are. Get us to 200 by the end of the show, as Ryan always says. Now, going back to Stafford. Now, see, I'm talking about the B-liners, and I forgot exactly what I was going to say. But what Stafford did, Stafford played extremely well to do what he had to do when it was time to do it. Like because he stumbled in you can say December,
middle of the season.
No. I'm on your team now. I'm on your team.
Oh yeah. I think it was November.
It's December.
He had 3 straight weeks of pick sixes. Was it December?
December.
There you go.
They lost 3 of those games. Yep. But whenever it was time to make a play that was necessary, Stafford was there. Whenever it was time, like yes, they lost to the 49ers and they let the 49ers in, the team that almost ended up beating them. But, you start with the 49ers. They beat the 49ers. They beat Stafford. You look what Stafford did against Tom Brady. The play. What did he say? I snatched his soul. We've never known Stafford to have that type of rhetoric. We've never known Stafford to be like that. We've never known it to be in him. And he said it after the game at the podium. Like, that's what in that moment, I said, this moment is here for Stafford.
He changed. He absolutely changed because he was surrounded by an Aaron Donald, who's a dog, and that'll rip your soul out.
Yeah.
He was surrounded by a Jalen Ramsey. You can talk all we want about Jalen Ramsey, big mouth. He's a good player. He's a dog. He puts in that work. Sean McVay, absolute unit. Whitworth. Those are guys that you learn from. And he learned on the spot.
Listen, Stafford, his favorite spot, and it proved, is the fourth quarter, being down and having to go down and score. He loves it. You know what?
He's 7th career all time. Game-winning drive.
I would pick him. Who would you pick over him?
I think only
right
Brady.
Now?
In the league?
Rodgers?
In the league currently active because Brady retired.
Rodgers is awesome at getting his team down the field when they're down. No, look how many times he just did it this year. Yeah, he sucked in the playoffs. Yeah. He did. I don't know. And you know what? We can look when we go to talk about Aaron Rodgers. We can talk why he sucked in the playoffs. Because he broke up with his freaking fiancée. She got in his head. She ruined the Packers season. She did.
She ruined. I mean, if you want to, we can do that in a few minutes. I don't know how I feel about breaking up.
That's why remember we said it. He didn't look right. Now we know.
Yeah, but he never.
He might have a point.
But he struggles in the playoffs.
Well,
though.
I remember against San Francisco,
really
there was one
that,
specific play in the fourth quarter, play action. Devontae Adams was basically triple covered, and Adam Lazard was wide open in the middle of the field. And you know what I think he saw? I think instead of Adam Lazard, I think he saw his girl. And that's why he didn't throw that ball.
You
might have a point.
I'm telling you.
You might have a point.
It makes sense now.
Yeah.
Why he looked like he wasn't him in that game. He never looked right in that game. I'm sorry I got spun off.
No, it's okay.
Rodgers, but it just
we're going to go to him in a little bit.
It just hit me.
Maz is an A-Rod guy.
But to finish the Stafford regular season, postseason, everything combined, guys, I'm just going to say this one more time, and I hope you listen.
Yeah.
And I hope this doesn't. It shouldn't. This is no longer a conversation what I'm having with you. I'm telling you what happened.
Yeah.
He is a Super Bowl champion. Out of any quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, he's thrown for the most yards in a single year. He's tied for the most touchdowns thrown in a single year. He did that. He led 3 game-winning drives, the most ever in the playoffs. Ever. Not this year. Ever. I rest my case. He was the best quarterback this year when he had to be. Yes, the interceptions are frustrating. Absolutely. But go talk to me about Brady's 15 or 12 interceptions. Mahomes' 15 interceptions. Allen's 12, 13 interceptions. Why don't you talk to me about their interceptions? Not just his. And you saw the tipped interceptions go through the wide receiver's hands. You've seen the Hail Marys downfield. Yeah. Let's cut the crap.
The other good thing about it is watching Stafford this year is getting a chance to see Stafford play with some studs. So, or I guess you could say some fellow studs. Whenever you talk about Super Bowl winners, you talk about, you talk about Tom Brady. You got to look at the people that were around Tom Brady. The Richard Seymours, the Willie McGinnises, the Devin McCourtys, the safety, Rodney Harrison. The The list goes on, right? You look at Joe Montana. You look at Troy Aikman. And we talked about this. You look at all the quarterbacks that are in the Hall of Fame wearing gold jackets. They're suited like this, including Peyton Manning. You just look at a snapshot of all the players that were around them, studs, fellow Hall of Famers. Like Matthew never had that. He had one guy wearing a gold jacket, and that's Calvin Johnson.
Yep.
Had one guy, and you may say Ndamukong may sneak in there. Fine, potentially two. Now this year, he's playing with the best DB in football. He's playing with the best player in football. He's playing with Von Miller, oh, by the way, Super Bowl MVP, and another guy that's going to be wearing a gold jacket. Andrew Whitworth, who's another guy at left tackle that's going to be wearing a gold jacket. So when you put him around some other guys with gold jackets, now you see the level can raise it because you know what? I trust these guys.
He got chosen to the right team.
100%.
You know how you pick in a schoolyard? He went to the right team.
Yeah,
this
look,
time.
I mean, we're going to talk about this next. Aaron Rodgers, he fell into the right organization, the right team at the right time, and he under-delivered for it. But, guys, let me tell you, wherever you're listening right now, whether it's on the Woodward Sports app, YouTube, if you're in the YouTube channel,
Twitter, Twitch, what you
make
got
sure you
going
leave
on?
a comment and, of course, leave a like. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Twitter. Make sure you retweet and like the show on Twitter.
We're short on likes today, by the way. We got a lot of viewers short on likes. By the way, Snowmageddon has started.
Oh, here we go.
I live 45 minutes away, so I might not make it home today. So, guys, it was a pleasure talking to all of you.
You might as well stay.
I probably won't see you tomorrow.
It's a hotel. It's a hotel right here.
All right, Aaron Rodgers next, guys. We'll get to it after the break. This is The Bottom Line. Braylon freaking Edwards, Tom Mazawey, myself.
That's Adham Beydoun.
We'll see you in a little bit.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes? Touchdown! What a play! Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet. The Woodward Sports Network.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tom
Planet
Mazawey.
Fitness. I was going to tell you about Planet Fitness.
Well, you got to tell me about this judgment-free studio,
I
even
will.
though I'm very aggressive in how I talk.
This is our studio, the Planet Fitness Studio, home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. They won't even judge the GOAT, Adham Beydoun. Memberships start at $10 a month. You can get the Black Card for $22.99. Black Card members, this is what you get: amenities such as unlimited tanning, hydro massage, massage chairs, total body enhancement, and best. You can go to over 2,000 locations worldwide. That's right. Any place you want to go that says Planet Fitness, you could walk in with a guest. It's like getting a 2-for-1 deal. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. Planet Fitness. Get there.
Relax. Aaron Rodgers' famous
R-E-L-A-X.
relax. Well, I can't relax about Aaron, I'll tell you guys that. Aaron Rodgers, where will he be playing football next season? To be honest, I have no idea. But I want to get to Maz's point.
It's got to be Aaron.
He lost because of the girl. What do you think?
He did.
Is that a thing?
I mean, listen, man, relationships like that, especially if they're serious, it seemed like they were very serious. Looks like he tried to force that relationship to work. I mean, she's super blue, he's super red. So, I mean, that's always tough, especially nowadays. It's a lot harder to date when you don't agree on your political stance. It's a real thing. You know, relationships can affect you. They can make you do crazy things. They can have you see red, have you see this snowstorm out here. So that could be a thing because he did not look himself. You know, he had the first drive of the game where you're like, oh, it's over for the 49ers. You know, he's ready to play this playoffs. And then it fleeted away.
You remember what Mickey told Rocky? Stay away from that dame across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Women weaken legs.
Yeah,
Women weaken legs.
You know what? I would have bought into the Aaron Rodgers narrative this year had he done more and not always lost to the Niners, not always blew playoff games. So for me, I think it's always been the same thing with Aaron. A great regular season quarterback, one of the best ever. But you know what? You know what I appreciate about Matthew Stafford that Aaron Rodgers doesn't do? Stafford will take chances. He'll make risky throws. And you know what? He's going to throw interceptions. That is a fact. He takes more risk than Aaron Rodgers. Well, you know what, bud? He has as many Super Bowls now and as many NFC titles as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing.
It's really unbelievable.
Is you watch and you look and you start to look back. You start to play this out in your head. This is a very interesting year as it relates for Aaron Rodgers because you've heard this narrative. He can't beat the 49ers. He can't win an NFC championship. He doesn't play well in the playoffs. And you look at how well he played in the regular season. I mean, he was 13-4. He only played, he played 16 games, and he didn't play the last game, so he really played 15 games. Yep. So he only lost once. But you look at the schedule year after year after year, you start adding it up in your head and you start thinking, well, he's playing Detroit twice, he's playing Minnesota twice, he's playing Chicago twice, and that's 5-1 right there. That's 5-1. So it's a conundrum because he was always in a lot of games. I mean, I literally remember one that stands out to me is that Seattle game. Like the Seattle game, the NFC Championship Seattle game, like they were ahead.
With 3 minutes to go.
And they fell apart, but he fell apart, and it's.
Braylon, you played in the NFL. How much of the team, how much of their character, how much of the quarterback's moxie, their belief in the quarterback affects how they play? I know it does with the coach, obviously, because the old saying, if you lose the locker room, you're done as a head coach. But if you have that guy, that quarterback, I'd assume. Even if they recovered an onside kick, that defense would have gone out there and gotten a stop.
I've never had that quarterback, so I wouldn't know. But I can watch, and I've had that not quarterback, and I've actually watched it. I take that back. And I told a story when we were talking to Damian Woody yesterday. We played Peyton Manning in the AFC Championship, 2009 season, 2010 AFC Championship. And we were ahead. The Jets, we were ahead. We were wild card. We were ahead of them. They were the 2 seed. We were ahead of them. Or they were the 1 seed. We were ahead of them. But they had the sheriff. And you just see the other guys, like they just play. It never bothered them that they were behind. It never bothered them that they were losing because they knew they had the sheriff. And then slowly but surely, the sheriff started making those plays. Right before the half, we had an interception on their 30, and offensive coordinator decided to play for a field goal as opposed to going for the jugular. And we got the ball at the half, played for the field goal. We missed the field goal. Sheriff went down 33 seconds, found Austin Collie in the middle, slot route, nice little bang-8 in the slot. And you just saw it. I said, oh, shoot. You gave the sheriff hope. And they still were down 3 at the half, but you gave the sheriff, all right, here's his window. And then the players saw that, and the players bought into that. Players buy into great players. Just like the Rams in the Super Bowl. Rams looked awful on offense once Odell got hurt, but who did they have on defense? Aaron Donald kept the game within reach. Aaron Donald by himself damn near, and Von Miller had 2 sacks, kept the game in reach so that when Sean McVay could figure out how to free up Cooper Kupp, they would be within striking distance. When you have great players, players play. That's just how it's simple.
100%. 100%. And you know what? I think that's the opposite effect with Aaron Rodgers. I think when you're in that environment, and look, I don't know him personally, but he seems like a pretty much a douchebag. Seems like a guy you just wouldn't get along with. And when things are going right, everybody's, you're my boy. But what happens when things hit the fan? And I feel like with Aaron Rodgers, everybody kind of folds like he does. They just do, and I think they take after their quarterback. I really do.
It's just that adage, though, Maz. It's that adage. When you like your best player, there's not a soul on that LA Rams team that doesn't like Aaron Donald. Like Aaron Rodgers, outside of the receivers, I don't know if everybody likes him. Yeah. So when he's successful, what do they say? Winning cures all. So when you're successful, you're winning, you mask things. I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but you know what? He's winning. So I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to keep my feelings to myself on how he acts around other players. I keep all that to myself. But then when he starts losing and you start to see, you like, yeah, all right. So I think it's a little bit of that
this is a bit of a hypothetical question for both of you. If Aaron Rodgers is on that Los Angeles Rams team, back with the Bucks, does his team rally and does he lead them? And the second part to that question is, does Aaron Donald and the defense, with 1:25 in the Super Bowl, 2 timeouts for Joe Burrow and the Bengals, do they make those plays with that guy on the sideline all season long in their ear?
The answer to your first question is no. They don't beat Tom Brady in that moment if that's Aaron Rodgers. The answer to your second question, if they're in that same situation they were in, but Aaron Rodgers is the guy, I think so. I think so.
As an Aaron Rodgers fan, I could say, hey, Bray,
It's just a Super Bowl. Like, I think you got to put.
I know, I get it, but I don't even think they get there with him, to be honest. Because what I look for in my quarterback is, where are you when I'm down 21? What are you doing? Are you looking at your film and getting? Hey guys, we got this. We got this. Defense, give me one stop. Give me one stop before halftime. I promise you, we'll be within one touchdown by the start of the third quarter.
I rewatched the Super Bowl highlights last week, and I saw the comeback, the second half comeback from the Patriots against the Falcons. Falcons had them 28-3, and Brady's and none of those guys, Edelman, they're all up. They're saying, "All right, we got this. One stop. Let's get the touchdown. No, let's score here, guys. Tom Brady's on them. Let's score here. No, nothing. No worries. Even when they tied the game, he was just a matter of fact. All right,
one drive at a time.
Next one.
And I don't think Aaron is like that. I really don't. I think Aaron really is too much of himself. And I think as a quarterback, and I played quarterback in middle school and high school, and I still remember my coach drilling in my head, you are the most accountable. You are the selfless one. You determine who the ball goes to every single play.
Right.
You do. So no matter what happens, I don't care if a lineman misses his block, it's your fault. You dictate. You take accountability because all the other 10 guys on the field are looking at you when they need a big play. Not you're looking at them, hey, Cooper Kupp, I need you to run a really good route here and catch the ball. No. Coop, just get open. I'll make sure the ball's there, even in that little thread, just like Stafford did with the no-look pass.
That's a great point. Because with Aaron Rodgers, it always seems like he's waiting for guys to do their job. He's waiting for guys to do their job. And he wants to be like, man, you should have been doing this or you should have done that. Sometimes you see other quarterbacks, like Steve Young was great at this. If you didn't do your job, Steve Young would help you get to where your job was. Like Steve Young would, you know what? You didn't get exactly the right depth, or you didn't get the exact route. You're not in the exact right zone, but you know what? I'm gonna run around a little bit. You know, I'm in the dirty lefty. I'll find you. I think that's what the good ones do. Not only just the great ones, but the great teammates too. Not just the great players, but great teammates and great players. They find a way to get you in the game. They find a way to put it on themselves to get you out of a jam. I think Aaron's like, look, I tried. You weren't there.
I can guarantee you, Braylon at Michigan, 30 seconds left in the game. They're down at the goal line. Throw me the ball. Trust me, and like I trust you. Give me the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't feel Aaron has that trust with any of his guys, not even Devontae Adams.
No,
I mean, maybe Adams, but
again,
the Lazard thing, running over the middle. And it's not even that, Devontae Adams was on the sideline and Aaron just, missed Lazard because he was too busy looking. No. Lazard was running over the middle and Adams ran a post. You saw them both. And like you said, Maz, maybe he saw his girlfriend.
You know who was in his face? Shailene Woodley. That's who was in his face.
She can do better.
Speaking of open, it goes back to I'm still mad Aaron Donald wasn't MVP.
I'm with you.
And the reason why I say speaking of open, because if Aaron Donald doesn't grab him, if he doesn't beat that double team on that last play, guess who was open?
Jamar.
Butt naked open.
Yeah.
That would have been a game-winning touchdown. Yep. Oh, man, we wouldn't be having the same conversation. But Aaron Donald, once again.
I'm with him 100%.
Man-child.
Aaron Donald, I think, in my lifetime, the greatest defensive player I've ever seen over Reggie White. Now, you want to bring up Lawrence Taylor, Maz? I think that's a whole different discussion. I wasn't alive. I never got to see him play.
I'm sorry.
But I just know how good he is from Bill Belichick. I know from all the coaches, they speak so highly of him. So if you can have that conversation. I just know, at least as long as I've been alive, Aaron Donald is the scariest thing on a football field I have ever seen.
I'm your age, I think, a little bit older. He is absolutely the best defensive player I've ever seen play with my own two eyes. I didn't see Lawrence Taylor either.
I'm 39.
You know what you guys sound like?
What?
The people on Twitter that said that was the greatest halftime show ever.
Oh,
that's the greatest halftime show I've ever seen. Then I'm looking, I'm like, you're like 21 years old. How many freaking halftimes have you seen?
I thought Snoop was the best out of all of them.
I think the reason why I say it, and we got to go to the commercial, I think the reason why people say that is just everything that was entailed in that. Because usually when a performer performs, it's a person performing in a city that has nothing to do with them. They're just performing because they're hot. They're performing because they're trending, they're popular, etc. Whether it's Beyonce, whether it's Bruno Mars, whether it's Coldplay. I know that was all one Super Bowl, but weird. But with Snoop and Dr. Dre, it's West Coast. Like, they were L.A. They are L.A. The songs they're saying are L.A. They made it out of L.A. to come back to L.A. So I think there was just a lot of, a whole piece. you piece it all together, it just was a beautiful thing.
You know what my favorite halftime show was? Super Bowl III. They had the motorized helmets on the field, and the helmets were going around the field.
All right, man, we're going to commercial.
Big motorized
listen,
helmets.
we got to go,
So take us to commercial.
You
This is
should
the
have
bottom
seen.
line on the
You should have
Woodward
seen these
Sports
helmets.
Network.
They
Matt's
were
talking about
beautiful.
stuff that happened before even Jesus Christ was born.
I
I don't know
love
what's going
those
on here.
helmets.
I don't know
What was
what's
Jesus
going
wearing?
on.
Helmet cars. Nothing like it.
All right, guys, this is the bottom line. Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. I'm
First
Adam
do it.
Beydoun, fill in for Ryan Armani. We'll see you guys right after.
We'll see you.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff. Like football 5 days a week, we like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sign in, and sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Not like myself or Maz, but definitely like Braylon. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, guys. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked. Hey, did you see that? Well, we're going to talk free agency here, but ESPN a couple days ago put out this article, ESPN Plus. You got to be a Plus guy to get them all. But they put their top 50 free agents out in the NFL and where they think they'd be best suited to go. And you know who they gave us here in Detroit? They gave us number 39 out of Arizona. Out of 50, they said this is number 39. His name is Christian Kirk. They say Christian Kirk would be the best fit here for the Lions to go sign him as a free agent. What do you think of Christian Kirk there, Adam?
I don't like the move, to be honest, because I think, Maz, in the first 34 picks of this upcoming NFL draft, the Lions, likely at 32-2 in the second round, are going to be able to draft one of the top guys coming out in this year's wide receiver class. And you're seeing it with Justin Jefferson and now Jamar Chase. You can find guys that come into the league right away and
you think there's a guy like that out there?
If I could draft Braylon in today's NFL, you're damn right he goes top 3 again. You know why? Corners can't touch him. You can't hold him. You can't hit him over the middle of the field. Today's NFL is so suited for wide receivers. I think instead of paying a guy who's maybe average and good, I go take a wide receiver who may have a higher ceiling.
Do you like Christian Kirk? Because ESPN.com says he'd be a great fit for the Lions.
Christian Kirk would be a good fit for the Lions. Let me start here. I'm waiting for the Lions to have another stud. It doesn't even have to necessarily be as good as Calvin, but just another stud on that stud level. Because I feel like you talk about Marvin Jones Jr. or the second, Marvin Jones the second. You talk about Golden Tate. You talk about Kenny Galladay. You talk about Chris Reynolds. Josh Reynolds. You talk. It's Christian Kirk. It just seems like a bunch of filler type wide receivers. We need another stud at wide receiver. Now I don't know what you got to go do to get that stud, but we need a stud. With that being said, Christian Kirk does fit our system. You mix him in with Amon-Ra St. Brown, another guy by his same size, same speed, guy that Jared Goff is used to. Those small, quick guys can shift in, can move in and out of X, Y, Z position. Also, you have Quintez Cephas will be coming back this year. Quintez Cephas was going to be
about him.
He would have been our number one wideout last year. He didn't get hurt out of Wisconsin. I was very high on him when he was at Wisconsin. I did like him. You bring him back. You don't know what you're doing with T.J. Hockenson. That's up for grabs. I like Christian Kirk, but I like Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is a guy that I'm on Orchard Lake St. Mary's. He's Detroit's own. He's Detroit homegrown, went to Penn State, had a dog career down there in Jacksonville. Then they bring him to Chicago. He had to play with Mitchell Trubisky last year. He had to play with Lord knows what he had to deal with up there. So with Andy Dalton, and then you bring in Justin Fields, and they didn't necessarily script the offense around Justin Fields, so he was basically wasting his talent. Allen Robinson is a guy that I really like. Like, he would be the guy, if I'm being honest, that I would go after in free agency.
Let me throw some names at you guys.
Go ahead.
Let's start with Devontae Adams. He's out of the Lions' reach, obviously.
Yes.
ESPN.com's got him going to the Raiders. I also hear the Chargers.
I like that. I do. I think both are good fits for him.
How about you, Bray?
That's only if Mike Williams leaves, because if Mike Williams isn't leaving, then you essentially have Mike Williams, Devontae Adams, and Keenan Allen. That's
They
three.
say he's leaving.
Okay, good. Then I like him there.
You know where they got Mike Williams? Cleveland.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, good luck in Cleveland.
I
I
know
can't
all
wait
about
to
that.
see Cleveland just burn
Cleveland's
to the ground
outside.
with
Just look
Baker
to your
Mayfield.
left.
Allen Robinson, your guy.
I'm telling you.
A Detroit native. Played for the Bears. They got him going to Indy.
He's a bigger guy, man. We don't have a bigger wide receiver. And I'm not saying you have to have a tall wide receiver. Just look at the Rams. Look at how they run their system. They don't necessarily have tall wide receivers. But you get a guy like Allen Robinson that can move. He can play multiple positions. He can play the Z and the X. He can play on the ball, off the ball, runs good routes, has good hands, good speed, 6'3". That's a good situation. That's a nice compliment to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Well, back to Christian Kirk. Is he better than St. Brown? I don't think so. So I'm going to pass there. Allen Robinson, my problem is I think he's going to ask for at least tier 2 kind of money.
Like 20.
And I don't know if I'm going to be willing to give that up. And again, I brought this up to Maz before we started this. He has the Lions have the number 34 and the number 32 picks.
Right.
They can get a wide receiver if they want.
Especially
and they don't have to pay this kind of money.
See,
and I don't want the TikTok little girl there in the bottom left corner.
No. Ignore him. Here's where the Lions might get lucky. There's a wide receiver last year that if he doesn't get hurt, okay, if this wide receiver doesn't get hurt in the SEC championship game, Alabama wins the national championship. Alabama wins the national championship, and that wide receiver is Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams got hurt in the SEC championship game towards ACL. That was in November, I believe, with those games.
Would you take him at 34?
I would.
34.
I would.
I think you'd take a chance on him and Mechie at 34.
Excuse me. I meant. No.
I take them both. I have no
I take
problem
Jameson
with that.
over Mechie. They're both great, but I would take Jameson Williams because he was the better receiver of the two last year. I'm taking Jameson. I'm tell you why. He tore his ACL on December 4th because that's when the SEC championship was the same day as. Guess when I tore my ACL? December 4th, my rookie year. I came back and started that very next year. This is 2005. In 2006. You're talking about 2021, 2022. Medicine's gotten better. The rehab process has gotten better. I came back and started that very next year. Made the Pro Bowl the following year. I like Jameson Williams. I think you're getting a steal because of him getting injured at that 34 pick. That could be a steal. If he's there, you got to take him.
And what's a better pitch? Huh? What's a better pitch to a GM? A guy that can get similar production in today's NFL, like a Jalen Waddle did this year.
He's better than Jalen Waddle.
Well, there you go. You expect a little more than 1,100, 1,200 yards maybe in a good offense if he's healthy all year. I'd rather have that contract.
Too.
Why do you think the Bengals are so happy right now? They're paying T. Higgins and Jamar Chase nothing for the next 3, 4, 5
Burrow
years.
either.
They're happy people right now.
It's nothing like when you sell somebody. You can sell anybody. If you sell anybody a deal, people don't even have to know what the hell the deal is. They literally hear the word deal and their eyes light up. So you're selling the GM, you're selling the quarterback, a head coach, and you're selling the owner. Hey, check this out. I got this deal for you, so I'm going to write this down. So you see this right here? Okay, so this right here, this guy could have been in the top 10, but he got injured. And because of the injury, he's now going to drop down to 34. This is the move for you. Same thing happened to Willis McGahee. Willis McGahee going into that draft, going into that national championship game against Ohio State, he was in the top 5. He was top 5, tore his ACL, and had, to this day, I don't know how he did it. It was an amazing recovery process, an amazing workout, because he literally worked out on a knee that just got repaired. Still went 27 to the Buffalo Bills. That's what you call a steal. Got a steal. Buffalo got some good work out of him. He goes to the Ravens. 2-time Pro Bowlers. He made it once with the Ravens, once with the Broncos. It's called a steal. His name's Jameson Williams. Put that down.
You know who the Lions have right now that's a steal that they took in the first round? Penei Sewell. Because I promise you, he's the #1 draft pick this season if he comes out. Likely 2nd overall. Any other year where the demand for quarterbacks, and they were there at the time, any other year, he never falls to Detroit.
Wouldn't Trevor Lawrence be happy to have Penei Sewell blocking for him if he were coming out this next year?
Would. That's why I think they get Evan Neal, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different conversation.
Every time I see anything that's not Evan Neal, I'm just confused at what people are looking at, they're reading, and they're watching as it relates to film. Because Evan Neal is, your pick.
Teddy Bridgewater, I don't care where he goes. Lions aren't going to be interested. Allen Robinson, I think we just talked about this. I think too expensive. Indy has the cap at least to make a move for him. And, of course, Jameis Winston. I'd rather be shot in the head than have him as our quarterback. And I like Jameis. I think he's a good dude.
They got him going to where's Jameis going?
Pittsburgh.
See, that's when you leverage your partnerships and your sponsorships to add to deals. Because if I'm Detroit, I'm looking at Allen Robinson. I'm like, listen, Allen, we're not giving you 23, 24. We have 18 for you, but also we have the Detroit Lions who are represented by 4. We can get you a 4 deal. You're a home guy. You went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. There are a lot of, I almost say NIL. There are a lot of sponsorships from him being from here, playing at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, being a Big Ten guy, and being a really good wide receiver. I would sell him on that. That way you keep some money and you still give him 18-5. You can kind of work some deals like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was my theory with Dak Prescott. If I was Jerry Jones, Dak, shut the hell up. Take $20 million in base salary a year. Let me build you a really good team, and I'll give you $15 million a year in oil money.
And hush money.
Don't worry. Just shut the hell up and take the deal. But nobody listens to me anymore. What are you gonna do?
I do.
All right. Well, when we get back, speaking of owners and hush money,
Michigan.
Oof, Michigan. I mean, we got to talk about a lot of things. To be honest with you.
Oh, by the way,
what's up?
We still have Adam Schefter coming to you guys. We haven't mentioned that one time. Adam Schefter coming to you guys. Stay tuned. Adam Schefter be here right around 3:45, so you want to stay tuned.
20 minutes from now.
My apologies. I had to cut you off.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm excited. You're tuning into The Bottom Line. Beautiful Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, you sexy-looking thing. I love you, man. I hope you know that. I watch the show just to look at you sometimes.
I bet you do.
There's nothing wrong with
I
that,
swear to God I do. I have a man crush on Maz. I'll admit it. I already told my wife I'd leave her for Jimmy G, so I have no problem opening up about my weirdness.
You'd have to beat my wife and my daughters to him.
Yeah, Maz. Yeah, they're
I called my wife, my mom on air, and asked her if she'd leave my pops for Jimmy G. She said absolutely.
You know who my kids like better now? Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Joey V.
Yeah, I would let my daughter marry Burrow even if she was 14.
Amen.
We'll make it work. All right, guys.
Arrange
the
a
bottom
marriage
line.
again, huh?
This is The Bottom Line.
And we will see you guys
Adam
in a
Schefter
second.
coming up in a few breaks. We'll see you right after.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers.
Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 p.m. Join Woodward Sports and Big D Energy for the grand opening of the Berkeley Chili Peppers Tanning on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile. Come hang and join the Pepper Club. Best deals on unlimited tanning.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
You want to talk about coaches that don't get it? It seems like Cliff Kingsbury has no idea what the hell's going on in his own football team right now, but I'll tell you who gets it. Or who does get it, excuse me. Guardian Alarm gets it.
Yes, they do.
Whether from home, business, you need a good defense. And clearly, the Cardinals have no idea what a good defense looks like. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe with local 24/7 monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home business, control lights, temperatures. They do it all, guys. Guardian Alarm.
Sheesh.
Call 1-800-STAY-OUT today. That's 1-800-STAY the
out.
hell out.
Stay out of here.
Stay out of here. Get that Cliff Kingsbury crap out of my face. Stay out. Let them know Woodward Sports is.
By the way, we're 60 likes away from 200.
Hey, come on.
60.
Smash
Come on.
the like button. We do it. I put on my like suit today, man. This is my like suit. You
Looking
gotta
handsome.
like the suit.
Looking
Smash
handsome.
the like button for the suit.
You got a jacket for that suit? It's snowing outside like hell.
Hey, I
don't
know,
if you
right?
wanna
I
show
got it,
my
but
camera, but I'm terrified
I'm gonna
to go
switch up with the
outside
coat
right
game now. I'm gonna switch up with the coat game now. You brought up the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
Tough. The way it ended last year for the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. You look, they lost. I want to say in the month of December they lost 5 games. They went into December 10-2. Adam, 10-2. They went into December, and they finished 10-7. Also 11-7. I apologize. 11-6. Get into the playoffs, and they play one of the worst games I've ever seen in playoffs. Kyler Murray was horrible. Cliff Kingsbury was 13-19 at Texas Tech with Patrick Mahomes. Now you're starting to see why. Doesn't seem like he can get it done. And I heard this. I saw this. Forgot to put this up. I saw this. Said Colt McCoy said, and I quote, Kyler Murray said on the sideline during that game that he was done here. This is what Kyler Murray said during a playoff game. During a playoff game, he was saying that he's done here. Keep in mind, Kyler Murray has only been with the Cardinals 3 years.
And he scrubbed all the socials from the Arizona Cardinals. And the last 2 years, the last 2 Super Bowl winners have played at home. The reason we bring the Cardinals up is they host Super Bowl 57 in Arizona next February the 12th.
I feel like the Super Bowl is always in Arizona.
Yeah, I can guarantee you one thing next season. The Arizona Cardinals will not even make the playoffs, let alone host the Super Bowl. Kingsbury gets fired midway into next year. And I called the Cardinals collapse when they were 10-2. I said they'd finish the season 11-6. They were going to collapse, and they were going to take a first-round exit in the wild card because, losing DeAndre Hopkins, that hurt.
It
Don't
hurt
get
them
me
a lot
wrong.
more than they thought they did.
Yeah, it really did, but the coaching was just
They were skidding
average.
before that, actually.
Yeah, they were barely, I think the thing that put everybody on notice, if I'm being honest, it was the Green Bay game. It was the Green Bay game was the one. They were 10-1, and then they lost the Green Bay game.
That was a Thursday night game.
It was a Thursday night game. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, they go down to Arizona. They go down to University of Phoenix Stadium, Stadium. University of Phoenix Stadium. They didn't have Devontae Adams. They didn't have Aaron Jones. They didn't have Lazard. They didn't have insert wide receiver or player on offense here. They did not have. They did not have Jahari Alexander. They did not have the DB, who his name eludes me right now. They had no one.
They didn't have Zadarius Smith, the linebacker, either.
Exactly.
Yep.
They had no one on that team, and yet and still they went out there with Aaron Rodgers as the only representative of the Green Bay Packers, and they found a way to get a W that night. I think that started for the Arizona Cardinals,
and the Lions finished it.
I was at that game. I went to one
Me
game
too.
this year. Oh, we both were. That's right.
I was there.
One game this year I went to, Adam. I went to the Cardinals game, and as I'm watching, I'm just ready for the Lions to pull a Lions move. First quarter goes by, I'm in the suites, I'm conversating, I'm talking to people, and I'm like, oh, okay, game's kind of close. Second quarter, I'm in a different suite, conversating, oh, it's still kind of close. Third quarter, I'm like, okay, but it's still the Lions. And I leave, I go back to the brass rail before I go to the Pistons game, because I doubled up that day, and they won. Once the Lions beat that team, I said the Cardinals are trash.
This is my analogy with Kyler Murray. When you guys, I'm sure you have kitchens at your homes. You put the dishes up and up and up. There's some dishes that you rarely use that you put up at the top, and then the ones you usually use you have on the first shelf. Well, the ones at the top, that's kind of like my Super Bowl, right? That's the hard to get. Now, let me ask you, if you need one of those dishes, are you going to ask one of your children who are 3-4 years old and are not taller than my left shoe?
That's tough.
Now, where I'm going with this is Kyler Murray. I think teams are just figuring out how short he is, and they're just adjusting really well. He can't see over his linemen, and that's why every play looks like a highlight play. It isn't. He needs to get out of the pocket to see the field. And that's why I think it's a big part of why they lose and win games, because he's so damn talented, don't get me wrong. But if you're telling me if I keep a clean pocket for you, and you have less than a 50% completion percentage in the regular season,
is he shorter than Drew Brees?
Yeah, way shorter.
Way shorter?
Okay, not way. I'm being dramatic here, but
Sam, find out the height.
Drew's like 6'1". Kyler's like 5'9".
He's listed at 6. Kyler is, but he's not. He's like 5'10" and a half. He's my height. He's white short. Yeah. Maz, you know what it's like. Me and you. We're short. We're white. Braylon's tall as hell. He's got that white shortness in him.
He's got it all.
It's tough. It's tough because, like you said, when you're sitting there in the pocket, you have a clean pocket. It's very tough when you have a clean pocket and you have a guy that has to throw upwards. So that's why if you notice, go ahead, Sam.
Drew Brees is listed at 6 feet, Kyler Murray 5'10", but Kyler Murray, he looks to me closer to 5'8" or something.
Drew Brees ain't 6 feet.
No, he's not 6 feet either.
They sell balls. Like legitimately. Like Russell, I played with Russell. Russell's rookie year was my first year and last year with Seattle. Russell was also 5'10". Like he's in that 5'11", 5'10" round. But Russell's better at, for some reason, Russell's better at it. Like Russell's just really better at it. With Kyler, you see the ball sail because he's short, so he has to throw upward.
Can't Kyler get there?
Yes, but you have to play for a better team. The reason why Russell had such success, and even Drew Brees too, because Drew Brees is right at that 5'11", 6 foot round, is because the running game was so good. When your running game is good, guys' hands are usually down. Guys are trying to come forward. You can play action pass a lot of times out of that, and you keep guys honest. When you can't keep guys honest, when your running game isn't honest, when your running games can't keep people honest, it's tough to be able to pass at that high over a consistent line, especially when you get down where you're passing. Because now all the defensive line coach and the defensive coordinator is telling their guys, keep your hands up. He can't see, which is true. When you look at Russell Wilson's success when they were winning the Super Bowl, who was the running back?
Marshawn Lynch.
You got Marshawn Lynch. Even towards the end of last year, the last 3 games when they were having success, Rashad Penny had over 180 yards like 3 games in a row because you got the running game going. So when you have a good running game, when you have a good offensive line, you can mask some of that shortness. But when you don't have that,
guys, the difference, I don't think people understand. Russell's 5'11". Okay, fine. Kyler is not 5'10". And let's say he was, even though he isn't. I'm taller than Kyler Murray, and I'm 5'10".
All right.
There's a huge difference between 5'11 and 5'9". 2 inches.
Yeah.
Those 2 inches are the difference between me seeing here on the line of scrimmage and me seeing here.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. And that's why those balls come out up. And that's why they sail a lot, just like Braylon's point. Look, I don't know if you can win with Kyler Murray. I don't. All I know is I'm scared now of Kyler because he wants 45 to 50 million, I think was the reported number, annual.
When's his rookie deal done?
2 years,
2 years
now.
from now. Also, everything with Kyler, because he's made so many highlight plays. Like you said, a lot of times he has to make the highlight play just to get the ball off. But that's not always true. A lot of it with him, too, is just wanting to make that highlight play. That's why he struggled his rookie year towards the end. Remember, he had a really good rookie year in the beginning, and then he faltered towards the end. Cliff Kingsbury, a lot to do with that as well. But with Kyler Murray, everything is a highlight play. I'm going to run over here, and then I'm going to take a look at it. Then I'm going to shake a guy and run all the way back to the other side. Everything has to look like a highlight play. Everything has to be made to feel like a play that's going to be a Heisman moment. You don't have to try to get the Heisman in every moment. In fact, you don't have to try to get the Heisman anymore anyway because you're not in college anymore. You're in the NFL.
Let me ask you this before you say something, right? Would you trade for Kyler Murray?
No. Hell no.
Really?
Would I trade who for who?
Because I don't know how to win
Would
with
you
him.
trade for Kyler Murray?
Nah.
I don't know how to trade. I don't know how to win with him, Maz. I know I can win games in September, October. I don't know how to win games in November, December, January. He's a totally different quarterback. Is that because the coach? It could take one coach to come in there and we change our minds completely.
I also don't know if we have a system in place for Kyler Murray. Like when you have a quarterback like a Kyler Murray, like some quarterbacks, some players, you have to have the right coaches to fit the system so that you can coach them a certain way. Like Greg Roman is perfect for Lamar Jackson. That's why Lamar Jackson has so much success in Baltimore. Greg Roman understands Lamar Jackson. Guess who else Greg Roman had? Oh, he had Colin Kaepernick. Greg Roman understands how to coach that style of quarterback. You put Lamar Jackson with the Detroit Lions, yeah, he'll have some rushing yards, but I don't know if he'll have that same success if Mark Brunell is his coach and then Ben Johnson is his OC. I don't know if he has that type of success.
Do you really think James Conner, as well as he played over his head, you really think that helped Kyler Murray?
In the beginning.
No.
Like in the beginning, yeah.
Give the guy a real running game. Give the guy another receiver.
Even towards the end of the season, when they were putting up ridiculous fantasy numbers, it never felt impactful. It was always the screen pass. Where's the run game? Where can I just take a play off and you just go do something for me? It doesn't exist in Arizona right now. But speaking of things existing and non-existent, excuse me. Apparently, there's some trouble going on with Jerry Jones under the table. Nobody wants to talk about this right now. I don't know what's going on here.
And Adam Schefter coming up momentarily.
3:45, correct? Is that the number?
3:45 is the magic number.
Could be any time now.
Magic number. Let's do this.
Sit in your seats.
Let's go to a break. Let's come back. Let's do a quick one on Jerry Jones. Quick break. And then let's start 3:45 and do the rest of the episode.
Let's do it. Braylon, we're listening to
The Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Braylon Edwards, fill it in. My guy, Adham Beydoun. Take you to a break, and we'll be right back.
I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, gang, who doesn't want a great tan in this crappy weather we got outside right now? You need your vitamin D. Chili Peppers Tanning is the place for you. You'll find the cleanest salons in the D, spotless, sanitized rooms, trained and certified tanning professionals. And if you join the Pepper Club, for the best deals. They beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more coming. One's coming on Monday. One in Berkeley. It's a grand opening, and Big D Energy is going to be there live Monday. That's Braylon's birthday, February 21st, 11A to 1P, right on Woodward Avenue between 11 and 12 Mile Road. Be there. Chili Peppers Tanning. Bray?
Can't wait, man. But guess what, though? I can't wait for this, though. Waking up every morning, like I say, to American Pineapple, you know what time it is, the revitalized shot that is Centron. Premium beverages for your lifestyle. Also, premium ingredients, essential vitamins, and nutrients. They work like a charm. The water is amazing as well, very pure. I mean, all water should taste good. Something about Centron just tastes just a little bit better. And then they have the energy drinks. Maybe that's why I'm so excited and why I can't wait to talk to Adam Schefter today, because I had maybe a couple too many of these Centron energy drinks. They are amazing, but they're also here for the moments. They are here for all your memorable moments, to be right there in your life every step of the way, to enhance it and make it better. Drink it, live it with Centron.
Man, Braylon, I don't know what the hell's going on with these owners. Look, if I was a billionaire, all right?
It's nothing new.
I know it's nothing new, especially with
it's just
with
getting
these
exposed
guys.
A little bit more.
I mean, you got to keep it in your pants, man.
Yeah.
You can't be going around, doing some shady stuff with some cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Reportedly, he paid out $2.4 million, Maz. What the hell is going on?
I know. Rich Dalrymple, who was the longtime PR guy with the Dallas Cowboys, supposedly was in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader locker room, and there was like a half-wall partition, and supposedly someone caught him sticking his phone and running a video and taking a picture and videos of the girls dressing. Not only that, but under Jerry Jones' own daughter, under her skirt in one situation. A fan saw it and told about it and went to court and told what he believed was the truth. The court believed him, so Jerry Jones had to take out of his pocket $2.4 million to put this thing to bed. Rich Dalrymple, by the way, is retiring now this year. He says it has nothing to do with that. He also says, I didn't do anything that they said I did.
I just think we're getting to a point in place. This is no longer acceptable. This is the second time that something has come out about an owner just in the last, I would say, 3 weeks. The whole situation came out with Snyder.
Yep.
With Snyder, with the Commanders, something came out where basically it said at the head of the cheerleader who's now on the staff, some foul play was asked on her. His lower back was on her hand. He was trying to make moves on her in the limo ride. He's also trying to do things in the office because she was on the calendar and he was sitting in on her final calendar when she was doing pictures as it relates to the privacy region. This is not going to stand anymore, man. It's 2022, and people are getting caught up, settling under the table, man. It's no longer going to be acceptable.
Look, man, if this guy doesn't want to end up like Epstein, he's got to chill out. Can't be doing this kind
You
of
got
stuff.
too much money to be a perv. Like at the end of the day, you have way too much money. If you want to be like this, if this is how you want to condone yourself, they have places for you to go.
Go to the Netherlands.
They have places for you to go.
Just go to the Netherlands. Prostitution is legal. Go have some fun. Stop doing this stuff. What's so hard?
Plenty more coming up, too, with our good friend, Adam Schefter.
Oh, Adam Schefter, man.
Quick break, right?
Quick break, man. Let's take this break, come back with a commercial, and then we'll get out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Braylon Edwards himself.
30
When we get
seconds.
back from the break, 30 seconds. Adam Schefter from ESPN joins us. I'm excited. Let's do it. This is the bottom line.
Bottom line.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the bottom line here on the Woodward Sports Network. We have a special treat for you this early afternoon. Adam Schefter, ESPN Senior NFL Insider, joins the bottom line. Adam, how are you doing today, man?
Hello there, guys. How you doing?
Adam, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. Haven't seen you since the Chad Tuff event a couple of years ago. That was pretty good one. I think that was Lloyd's 20th anniversary of the national championship team.
Pretty good, huh? How about that, Braylon? He's a great guy, and it was an honor to be there that night.
But guess what? You know who the MVP of that night was? It wasn't me. It wasn't you. It wasn't Lloyd. It was a daughter of yours, man. How's she doing?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's paid attention, but basically she spent the year as a correspondent on Nickelodeon. They do a show called Slime Time each week during the season. She was interviewing a different NFL player. She co-hosted the show this week with Nate Burleson. She co-hosted a bunch of shows this year. She's 13. She moved the stage the first time, and the first time I saw her, I was like, holy cow, she's got.
Jeez.
I never would have been able to do at 13 what she's doing. Never. So
13, I was picking my nose at him, so she's much further ahead. She's
No,
doing great.
when you introduced me to her, she was special. I can see her out the gate. That's why this doesn't surprise me what you're telling me, because she was sharp as a tack.
Well, if you go tonight, I'm sure the show's going to repeat. If you go home and just check your local listings, look at Nickelodeon, look for the show Slime Time, see when it reruns this week, and you can watch her co-host, and you can see that little girl that you met that night, Braylon, turn into. She's a little bigger now, but still, there's nothing that brings me any more professional joy than watching her do well.
Good. We'll check for that. Adam, obviously, Jim signed his contract today, $7 million extension. But let's talk about January through February. Can you talk anything about what was going on in terms of him thinking that he was going to be in Vegas, but then going to the Vikings, thinking that was going to be a done deal, and here he is back in Ann Arbor? How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think the Vegas thing ever was really a thing. I know it was out there in the media, but tracking it, I never, ever got the sense that Vegas was a real threat, a real opportunity. I think that if the Raiders had called and been interested, I think there might have been some interest from Jim's part in exploring that opportunity. It never got to that, ever. So Vegas, for all the chatter there was in the media, was really, I think, more of a media creation than anything else. The Vikings was real. He went out there, and I think that he and Vikings ownership spoke just a different language in terms of everything, right? I know there were reports that he didn't get offered the job, but you can really spin it however you want. I think that they just talked about how it would be, whether it would work, and I think both sides decided that it was not right. And Jim afterwards came out of that meeting, and I think he was impressed with the Vikings owners and the situation and the organization. He was very complimentary of them, but the fact of the matter is, that night he walked out and he's like, I'm going back to Michigan and I'm staying at Michigan. And I said, so that's it? Like, no more NFL? He said, no more NFL. This is not going to be a recurring thing. I'm going to be back there, and that's it. Now, you can believe him or not believe him. I tend to think that Jim Harbaugh is a very honest and direct and transparent person. When he says something, he means it. And so I'll take him at his word that he says that that's not something that's going to interest him in the future, and we'll see if that's right.
Speaking of the Vikings in the NFC North, Deshaun Watson rumored to be talking to the Vikings, as well as Aaron Rodgers rumored to be trying to keep it real in Green Bay. Do you have anything on what Deshaun Watson is doing, the legal things? How is he going to be able to overcome that this year? Vikings is it Tampa real as well?
Well, first of all, Braylon, let me just point out something. When you hear something that's rumored, my first question is, where is it rumored from? What are the origins of that? And so people are saying that the Vikings could have some interest. Okay, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But right now I can tell you that there is nothing really going on with Deshaun Watson from the Texans' perspective. They're waiting to see how this situation is going to play out. I think it would definitely make sense for them to trade him. I think it would make sense for him to move on. It would make sense for both sides to come together and figure out a path that they each could get out of it what they want. But they're nowhere near that right now, today. They could be tomorrow. They could be next week. They have to do something here relatively soon. But as we speak today, they're nowhere. So I don't know if there's a team out there. Yes, Minnesota could say, boy, we'd love to have Deshaun Watson privately. And Tampa Bay could say, we'd love to have Deshaun Watson privately. But nobody's spoken to Houston about it. And so Houston's waiting to see how Deshaun Watson wants to handle it. There's a lot that has to play out. Aaron Rodgers, I think the Packers are just in a much better place than they were a year ago. A year ago, I don't believe he wanted to be back there at all. I think at the very least he's open-minded to that now, and we'll see how that plays out. Doesn't mean he's back there or not back there, but certainly they're in consideration, which, if you're a Packers fan, is a lot more than you could say at this time last year.
Well, Adam, we're now post-Super Bowl. Obviously, the NFL is gearing up for the offseason. We talk a lot here about narrative stories. What's the league-wide perception of Matthew Stafford 1 year removed from Detroit, arguably one of the worst franchises over the last 58 years? Is it just media hype that he's getting all this love and praise, or are the executives, GMs, the head coaches all saying the same things? This guy was special. He just needed an environment where he could unlock his potential.
Well, again, I don't know that there's any league-wide perception. I think all we have to do is look at the facts. The facts are that when the Lions were open to trading him last offseason, there were a line of teams lined up for him. Carolina, Washington, Denver, L.A., San Francisco. I'm sure there are others, but those are teams I know that were interested and would have traded for Matthew Stafford. So there were teams lined up to trade for him. That is beyond dispute. We can point out other things that are beyond dispute. He is the fastest quarterback to ever throw for 20,000 passing yards in NFL history. He is the fastest quarterback to throw for 30,000 yards in passing history, NFL history, fastest to 40,000, and is now 5 yards away from becoming the fastest quarterback to throw for 50,000 yards. How many more milestones you want to hit before you say this guy's a really good quarterback?
Yeah.
And last and not least, he won, 4 playoff games this year? 4.
Yep.
Including the Super Bowl. So he's a Super Bowl champion quarterback in which he threw 3 touchdown passes in the Super Bowl. I don't care what the league-wide perception is. He's a Super Bowl champ that multiple teams are interested in acquiring after last season, and those are the facts.
Adam Schefter joins us, ESPN senior NFL. Hey, Adam, about Matthew Stafford. In 2 years, he's a free agent, unrestricted, and I know a few Lion fans that wouldn't mind seeing him back here, but what do you think the market for Matthew Stafford would be, or do you think he's a Ram for life?
Well, I think that the Rams will wind up restructuring that contract and extending it. I would be surprised if Matthew Stafford ever hit free agency in the prime of his career. How old is he now? 32, 34?
34.
Yeah.
34. So, I mean, he's got 2 more years left. At some point here, he'll be extended if that's what he chooses to do, because the Rams would certainly do that. They're waiting for the right time to create more cap space. So, I mean, he maybe one day, to your point, to your idea, it would be fun to see him finish up as a Lion. But I don't imagine that would be anything more than signing a 1-day contract to retire as a Lion. I don't see him going back to play there anytime soon.
Adam, keep it here in Detroit. I know you're just another one of the guys when I'm going to ask you about this. How could a team win 1 playoff game since 1957 in the NFL today? Meanwhile, several expansion teams have won Super Bowls, have gone to Super Bowls, and we're sitting with 1 playoff win against the Cowboys when we had Barry Sanders. How does that happen?
Well, it's a tough one, and it's not easy to explain. I think that when you look at it, the Lions have been more known for driving away superstars than they have been winning. And so there's an issue there. And if that's the case, that you've got Barry Sanders walking away and Calvin Johnson walking away, clearly there are things that the organization has not done the right way in the past. You guys are there. You see it every day. You would know that better than me. But you can't have that streak of losing with superstar players growing disenchanted and walking away and not wonder what is going on. There have been different coaches. There have been different front offices. Right? So
we know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
This ain't Pittsburgh.
Absolutely not. Adam, I do have a question for you. Back to Aaron Rodgers. Speaking of disgruntled superstars, there hasn't really been anything out there's worth looking at in terms of where he could be traded. I'm sure all the destination, the obvious one, Denver, Pittsburgh, teams in the market for a quarterback. But what is Green Bay's intention? The last we've heard from them, it was, we plan on restructuring, likely figuring this out, bringing back the crew. But how realistic is that for them?
Well, Green Bay's intention is to have him back, and Green Bay is going to go all in to bring him back, and all in terms of giving him a new contract. I'm sure if he's going to come back, they'll promise to bring back Devontae Adams and they'll mortgage their future to try to win now because they would follow a plan similar to what the Saints did, I would imagine. That's how it would go. And so it's a situation where they'd be all in. But the issue there is it's not their decision. It's Aaron Rodgers' decision. Is he all in with Green Bay? And we think that he might be interested, definitely, and we think that could happen. But he hasn't said. Have you heard him say? I haven't heard him say yet. I'm going to be back in Green Bay, and I'm not interested in going somewhere else. As of right now, that he could say that anytime, and when he does, that means that he's back in Green Bay. But I haven't heard that yet, and we'll see how he decides to play his future here because he's got the ability to do what he wants to do this offseason.
Let me ask you a question, kind of like a side note to that. With Davante Adams, how do they keep Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers if he was even to want to come back? How do you keep Davante as well? Because Davante's tag has to be a big one after his last 5 years.
Yeah, it's a $20 million tag, Braylon, but so what? You sign an extension that gives you more cap relief this year. And look, teams can do whatever they want. I mean, you just spread it out. You give Davante Adams a long-term deal. You give Aaron Rodgers a long-term deal. And at some point, the bill is going to come due. It's like a credit card. You keep charging on it. But at some point in time, you're going to have to pay the bill. And the Packers would be prepared to do that in time at the expense of trying to win now. And so to them, that would be worth it. And that's something that they would love to be able to do, assuming that Aaron will want to come back. And if Aaron will want to come back, then I'm sure Davante will want to come back. And if Aaron's going to leave, I'm sure Davante's going to want to leave. So, again, let's see how these coming weeks play out. But they're waiting for an answer from Aaron Rodgers.
Adam, Lions have 5 of the top 100 picks in this upcoming draft in April. They got the number 2 pick. Do you see them staying at number 2? You see them moving it? I know it's early, but that's our Super Bowl here in Detroit. That's what we talk about.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I would say is normally last year I think there were 5 quarterbacks picked in the top 15 picks. And so normally, teams are coming up to pick quarterbacks. I love Aiden Hutchinson as a player. I love Evan Neal as a player. I love Kayvon Thibodeau as a player. But I don't see teams mortgaging their future to give up draft picks to go trade up for an offensive or defensive lineman. I just don't see that happening. And so my guess is when all is said and done, I would feel pretty confident in saying that the Detroit Lions will be sitting there at number 2 in the draft in April, and we'll see what they decide to do with that pick.
Quarterback or no?
No, there's no quarterback in this draft. In my mind, we're taking it number 2. I would not expect that it would be a quarterback at 2.
Got to touch on some Michigan stuff before we get you out of here, Adam. I see the Michigan helmets in the background. As always, you always represent. With Jim coming back, with Jim coming back in Ann Arbor, you're excited about him now. You get the stability, you get the team back, you get him back on track. What do you look at this year for Michigan? What do you think their obstacles and their challenges will be in order to run it back this year? This is on a lighter note.
Yeah, well, they had such a great year last year, and I think that a lot of things fell into place, and they're going to lose a lot of talent off this team. And they've already lost some coaching firepower. Mike McDonald is gone. Josh Gaddis is gone. So the guys that they bring in to replace them are going to have to prove that they can do what these guys last year did. You're going to lose some great players off that defense, like Aiden Hutchinson. Do they have guys that can replace them? And look, Braylon, from the time you went there to the time I went there to the time many people in the audience went there, Michigan's always been a factory. It just one guy leaves and another guy comes in. And so I want to think and I want to believe that that's going to be the case again. But again, these guys have to go do that. So what will it will take guys stepping in and producing, but there's no reason that this school shouldn't keep winning.
Adam, last question, and this is about you yourself. I noticed on Amazon, I follow you on Twitter, I saw that The Man I Never Met is now available on Amazon. Can you please talk about that book just a little bit? It's a memoir of yours.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate asking, brother. That's a book that I wrote a while back, and it was a book basically I wrote it with a gentleman who lives in Ann Arbor by the name of Michael Rosenberg, writes for Sports Illustrated, very gifted and talented writer. And we spent some time. We wrote this book about my wife's late husband. My wife lost her first husband on 9/11, and that's the title of the book, The Man I Never Met, a memoir. And so it was kind of like about his life and about her life and how I stepped into their life and how we tried to make it work. And so it was something that was very personal. And I think a lot of people that did read it were moved and touched by it. And it stemmed from a piece that we did on ESPN on the 15th anniversary of 9/11 back in 2016. The book was written a year or two after that. So, I mean, yeah, if you just Google Adam Schefter 9/11 video tribute, you would see the piece that ran on ESPN. But honestly, I think they've played it enough. I think people have seen it. Most people have seen that piece. And if they haven't, just go Google it. I would say, in the interest of keeping his memory alive, it's a piece that is definitely worth seeing.
Adam, can't thank you enough for coming on the show with us today. We really appreciate it.
Adam.
Man.
Thank you so
really
much, Adam.
Appreciate
Really
having you on
appreciate
here,
it.
Adam.
Thank you,
Adam,
guys. Appreciate it.
Keep up the great work.
Day.
You too.
And tell your daughter I said hello.
I will do that, guys. I appreciate that. Watch Slime Time.
I will
Go
watch
Blue.
Slime Time. Definitely. Go Blue.
That was awesome. He is a great guy. You know that?
Yeah, he is.
Seriously.
Yeah, he is.
Like
Mr. Breaking News himself.
Off
Adam
TV,
Schefter.
I mean, he just looks like a really, really good guy. That was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. How about you?
That was a lot of fun. No, I enjoyed it.
We're out of time, dude.
I've done some work with him before. Like I said, we did the Chad Tuff event where we hosted together. I mean, he was the host. I kind of was just secondary host, just chilling, having fun. But he's damn good at what he does. He is the best. And the question I actually wanted to ask him that I didn't get to is, he's gone about as high as you go. Like, in terms of what he does, no one is better in the 4 sports at breaking news than him, and being the insider. And you heard how you corrected this a couple of times. Just talk about, well, it's not about rumor, it's not about this inside information, and breaking it down to the logical side of things. I wanted to ask him, what's next? Like, where does he
Amazon?
Like, where does he go from here? Like, what is his ceiling? Like, what's the next move for Adam Schefter? I didn't get a chance to ask him, but I'll tweet it to him, and maybe I'll tell you what he said tomorrow. So,
Thanks for setting it up, Ray.
No, hey, man.
Thank you guys for
Adam, thanks for
letting me
sitting
join
here with
today.
us.
Seriously, I appreciate it a lot. It was fun.
Adam, take us out of here, man.
All right, guys, you are listening to the very exclusive version of The Bottom Line. Myself, Braylon, Maz, Sam Reynolds, Alex Mayer. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We appreciate it. Obviously, before you go, make sure you leave a like on the YouTube channel. Helps us a ton. We appreciate it a lot. We hope you enjoyed Schefter. We enjoyed you all a ton. Have a great day. This is The Bottom Line, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4. Braylon Edwards, myself, Tom Mazawey.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Drive safe. If you're driving out there, drive safe. The roads are terrible.
Stay home.
At the same time, I'm damn happy to be standing up here with you guys celebrating this. Come on. Let's go, y'all. I'm going to bring us a little Southern hospitality to this. I appreciate y'all so much. You guys have been unbelievable. Unbelievable all year. And you know what? We appreciate you. Let's go.